Okay, I am like praying that this all goes well. The past 3 times I've tried to do this, it hasn't worked. I don't know if I just suck at like YouTube, but yeah, last time I tried to do this, it just shut off midstream and was super laggy, so I'm really hoping that that doesn't happen this time. And if it does, like if it just randomly shuts off for a second, or just like for forever, just know that was like not intentional, and it's probably just something messed up with my streaming or something. But I'm like praying that this goes well. Anyway, right now I'm just animating a cutscene for HABROMANIA. I officially finished all of the backgrounds yesterday for it, and now I'm just moving on to one of the cutscenes. So I'm just working on the roughs for it right now. But yeah, and if there's any problems, just let me know in the chat. There probably will be, knowing me. So like, if there's something with the music or lag, I probably can't change the lag, but I can fix the music if it's too loud or audio is bad. So, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna have to restart the Krita, because it's having an issue. I might actually just be able to reopen it. I love Krita because it's like free and it's what I do all my work on, but because it's free it like crashes all the time. Yeah, it's not responding, especially on animations because the animations are bigger file sizes, so a lot of times there's issues with it, so let me restart that. Okay. No, it saved the scribbles. That's fine. No, this is so sad. Okay. I've been meaning to do more live streams recently. Things have just been crazy busy. I'm on break from my school right now. I'm like a full-time college student, but I'm still on winter break, so I've been able to work a lot more on HABROMANIA, which is nice. And then once I graduate, I plan on like doing this full-time, so hopefully I have more opportunities to do more stuff on my YouTube. Am I surprised when people know Love Bites? Someone mentioned it in the chat. Love Bites is my graphic novel I worked on before HABROMANIA. It's still, well, I made 2 books, but I plan on making it like a complete series. I've just been so busy with HABROMANIA development that I haven't had time to work on it, but it always makes me really happy when people mention it, because it's like one of my older things, and I didn't realize people liked it, I guess. I'm like kind of a perfectionist, so I feel like I'm really hard on myself sometimes with like my older work especially. So like when I look at my old art, all I see is like, oh, I'd do this different, or like I want to redo it. But it's always nice when people I guess have positive reactions to some of my older work. have seen the Welcome to Noxus trailer. I love Arcane. I actually recently, here I'll show you. I was working on a fan art for it, or just for like Arcane in general yesterday. I'm such a big fan of that studio's art style and just like everything about it. I love the first season a lot of Arcane. The second one, some of the writing stuff I wasn't as big of a fan of, and I felt like we didn't get as much time with Jinx and Vi, and those are my two favorite characters. And I also felt like the whole plot between Zaun and Piltover sort of got dropped, or just like wasn't as big of a focus. But in general, it's like a beautiful thing. I'm excited for the Welcome to Noxus thing. Although I wish that they showed more plot stuff in the cinematic and not just like fighting, because like I know it's gonna be beautiful and there's gonna be great fight scenes because like that studio's amazing at that. But like I want to know more about like the story. But it looks really good. My opinions on Isha, that's like the little girl that Jinx was friends with. I wish we got to see more of her. Because I feel, well, I don't want to spoil, but she's like not as big of a character after the second act as I like. She's like basically not in the third act. So, I don't know, I wish we got to see more of her, but she kind of annoyed me at first, but I liked her a lot. And that montage scene she had was very cool, so. The music is actually from the HABROMANIA game. We have an original soundtrack written by Jack Wyndham. He's a super incredible pianist. He posts stuff on YouTube actually. Really beautiful covers and a lot of original work. And this is like original work that's going to be in the game, so. I just needed background music that wouldn't get me like immediately copyrighted, so. I've seen, I haven't played Sallyface or seen playthroughs, but I know what it's about, and then I've seen a couple playthroughs of Sallyface, or sorry, of, Franbeau, but I haven't played it. I tried to, but honestly, I get so busy with game development and writing and stuff, I don't really have a lot of time to consume a bunch of, like, media outside of, like, making it myself, or, like, making my own stuff. But, I think it's a cool game. This is, like, partly, inspired by that sort of vibe and gameplay. I'm actually gonna be, someone asked if they could get the Love Bites graphic novel if they missed my Kickstarter I had for it. I'm gonna be putting up my website sometime this month, and I'll be selling a bunch of prints there, some merch I have, so like keychains, stickers, and then yeah, the graphic novel. So I'll post about that on my Instagram when it's ready. Someone asked how I feel about HABROMANIA becoming a real thing. It's so surreal, dude. I did not expect it to ever happen. This was like my dream job since I was like, probably in high school, like early high school. This is like all I wanted to do. And I thought it like wouldn't happen because you need kind of like a lot of industry connections, I thought, and I like have none of those. I'm not even in school for like game development or anything like that. But I was just super lucky to start posting some of my concept art online, and people just really, I guess, connected with it. And it became this, like, viable project, which is still so surreal, but I guess it's kind of nice, because it's like I really never thought that it would be possible, seeing as I don't have, like, a formal background in it. Like, this is my first time ever doing something like this, but just putting in like a lot of work, like a lot of work, like not having, I don't know, it's hard sometimes balancing like life in this project, but I think it's worth it. For someone asked what language it's gonna be in, definitely English at first, and then I'm also looking on getting translators for some other languages. That was actually something we considered when developing it, like localization, so having puzzles not only make sense in English, but involve more pictures or things that more like an international audience could understand. So definitely I would love to have it in Spanish to begin with. Someone offered to help me put it into Chinese. Just most other... I'd love to have it in as many languages as possible, but for now it's just trying to get the demo done in the first place. I used to have a day job. I used to be an RA at my school, and I quit that job because I hated it so much. It's pretty horrible. And I did that for 2 years, and then I turned in my resignation letter, beginning of last semester. And the thing about that, end of last semester, so just like a few weeks ago. I just couldn't, it was getting a lot to handle with like my schoolwork, friends, family, and then also this like art projects I have. And I was like, something's gotta go because I'm like miserable with this level of like stress. And I'm really happy I did. I thought I would feel bad about it, but I don't. The nice thing about the RA job was that it gave me like a house on campus, so I don't have that anymore. But I'm lucky enough where like I didn't need to have that to have somewhere to live. So my favorite character in HABROMANIA, big shocker, is the Queen of Hearts. I feel like I draw her more than anyone else. I don't know, she's just, I love any, like, complex female, like, villains, which is one of the reasons I wrote her. But, I don't know, she's just super fun to me. I love writing more about, like, her backstory and stuff. Alice is pretty fun to draw, too, and Hatter's tough for me to draw, because I'm just not as good as drawing, like, boys. But, I love his personality. I recently spent a long time writing out the entire plot for HABROMANIA, so, like, I have all 12 chapters, like the whole full story written out. And it was really fun writing the stuff for like Hatter. He's a fun character. Oh, I think I missed some stuff in the chat, sorry. For developing the game, I work with a group of people. I'm like the project manager, creative director, writer. But we have some like assistant artists and animators, some sound people. Obviously, the person who made the soundtrack, what you're listening to right now, is on our team. And then I'm co-creating it with this super, super talented technical developer, Alexis. So she's doing all like the programming and actual game design stuff, and I'm making like the art and the writing. So again, like the more creative aspect of it. My favorite Alice in Wonderland adaptation, I'm honestly a sucker for the original. It really freaked me out as a child, like the Disney version, I mean. It just like, I don't know, there was something like unsettling about it. I guess it's like the weird colors and stuff, but I just in general love like the iconography of Alice in Wonderland. Like the tea, the Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, the cards, like I don't know, there's just something really cool about it. Recently I started playing Alice Madness Returns, and that one's pretty cool too, although it like doesn't run on my computer, so it keeps crashing, so I only got to play it a little bit. But really fun game, really cool take on it. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Ooh, what specific YouTuber do I want to play HABROMANIA? Well, probably Markiplier, just because, like, I'm, like, I used to watch him all the time in, like, middle school and then, like, early high school. He was, like, my favorite. I would, like, come home from, like, high school and just watch him play, like, stupid games. So that was really fun. And then probably, like, Jacksepticeye. I don't really watch a lot of, like, other gamers anymore besides them. but that would be the dream, I guess. Someone mentioned Cub Scouts. I used to watch him. But yeah, not many others besides that. So a chapter will be, so the demo is 17 different environments and like 70 pages of dialogue and different events and stuff, and that's like about how long one chapter will be. So pretty long. I don't know, I imagine I want each chapter to take about 2-ish hours, and then there's gonna be 12 chapters in total. So yeah, maybe an hour, 2 hours, depending on how fast you play it and how long you're like lingering on everything. Yeah, I do have Pinterest. I've been posting some of my art on Pinterest, but I know people just post. I find my art everywhere, and like I'm not posting it, and like half the time there's no credit. It used to kind of annoy me. Not annoy me, I guess just like I don't mind people, like, it's just weird, I guess, to see, like, your art somewhere where you're like, why is this here? Like, I fully did not post this here. But I've sort of just accepted it. I don't really mind if people repost my stuff, as long as I get credit. Like, as long as they're saying artist is Symphony Sonata. But, yeah, if it doesn't have credit, I'm not a big fan. But again, if people are just saying, like, I don't mind people sharing it or posting it places as long as they tag me in it. But yeah, I see my art all over Pinterest, which is weird. And like sometimes I'll go to the comments of the pins and people like are talking about like the art or like me. And like it's so weird reading a conversation with people talking about you or about your art like you're not there because like they don't think that you are. But like trust, I read those things and it's so weird people being like, "Oh, the artist is on Instagram, they do blah blah blah." And it's like, oh, that's me. Like, it's, I don't know, it's kind of surreal. But, yeah, I don't mind it. As long as, again, there's, like, credit. Okay, someone asked, I'm scrolling up a little bit. Someone asked if I have any advice on, like, I guess, starting your own comic or creative project or anything. I'd say, like, know the story you want to tell, at least like the main beats of it before you start doing anything else, right? Have a couple characters in mind, like 3 or 4, and just decide what sort of story you want to tell and like the main plot points. Figure out like an aesthetic that you want and like I guess what genre it is, what themes you're trying to say, the big conflict, the big resolution, just the most broad points. And then I think, like, the other stuff will come after. Oh gosh, I missed a bunch. I guess more, like, tips someone asked about, like, an actual plot. Okay, I guess, I love writing as much, if not more, than drawing. So for me, I guess it's like, I just get, like, inspired by random things. The nice thing with, like, Alice in Wonderland is there's sort of, like, a basis of, like, characters and plot and, like, a world. But, HABROMANIA is very loosely based off of it, so again, it borrows, like, the iconography, like, the character names, some of, like, the locations, but it's very, like, Alice in Wonderland itself is super, like, loose narrative-wise, like, there's no real plot to it. Not in a bad way, there just isn't, like, a big plot. She kind of just explores the world. So for me, I don't know, I guess I just started writing and was thinking about, like, what if this was a game, like, what would the plot be? Making the characters helps me, when you know your characters well enough, it's almost like they write themselves because you just know what they would do in a circumstance. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say, like, if writing isn't your strong suit, or you don't really enjoy writing, there's no harm in also, like, collaborating with someone who is a writer, or who does love telling stories. I know a lot of people who, they are, like, artists, and they collaborate with writers, because they like the art part, but they're not so, their thing is not, like, writing stories. So I think that that's fine, too. And then just looking at, like, things for inspiration. If I had to describe the first chapter of the game in one word, I guess, one word is hard. I think more like exploring. The other chapters are gonna have more NPCs and stuff, and you're gonna like talk with them a lot, and so you're gonna have a lot more dialogue choices and puzzles based off that. But the first chapter, you're sort of like learning the mechanics, and you're alone for a lot of it. You meet the cat, actually, the Cheshire Cat in the first chapter. But before then, you're mostly alone, and you're doing a lot of this exploring this like abandoned, overgrown grotto place that you fell into. And I want the player to feel kind of like lonely, or like really, I guess, like it when the cat comes in and you suddenly have someone to talk to. I think that's kind of important. Tips for anatomy, I guess just honestly using references and studying. At my school, I study, like, drawing and painting, but the annoying thing is they don't really, like, respect digital art as much, or at least, like, I don't feel like they do, so, like, I don't take any digital art classes, only, like, traditional drawing and painting, which is kind of annoying, but, I actually do feel like those classes and learning more of, like, the fundamentals has helped a lot with my stylized art. Like, I draw really stylized, and I think sometimes I forget that I can draw, like, more complex. But I would say just using, like, references and just practicing. Okay, a couple people are asking about my art style. It's honestly, I've just been drawing since I was 12, and I feel like I've taken a lot of different inspirations and, like, influences throughout that time. I used to draw dot eyes like this, like just like black. So like Love Bites, my graphic novel, has that art style. And then I wanted to put color into it because I wanted, when I was drawing HABROMANIA, I wanted Alice's eyes to be blue. So I started doing these really blank eyes. So that's like a big, that's the main reason I did that. I guess people think that like the blank eyes is the most like distinct part of my art style. And then everything else, I don't know, I low-key just made up after a lot of practice. You sort of just, I didn't even think I had an art style until people started being like, no girl, you have an art style. So you kind of just like will develop one if you just draw enough. I think also like, sometimes I'm hard on myself, like, oh, you're not the most like technical artist. But it's like if you're, sometimes like style is like, not better than technique, but like people sacrifice too much of like stylistic stuff in the name of being like technically perfect. And like, I don't know, I think it's okay to like embrace your style. Okay, someone asked about the... People are writing a lot of stuff. I didn't see that. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, someone asked if I was gonna reveal all the lore and stuff on live streams and my Instagrams. I hope not. I have a really nasty habit of accidentally saying too much. Like, and especially once the real game comes out, I don't want to be, like, spoiling everything, because I can't keep my fat mouth shut. But, I like to reveal some stuff, because I feel like people need to get invested and interested in, like, the game, and they can't really do that if they don't really know anything about it. So yeah, so short answer, no. Longer answer, possibly more than I want to get revealed, but not the whole thing. There's still a couple big plot points I haven't like written anywhere. Yeah, it's fine if you draw eyes the same way I do. Someone asked me that recently, or like, can I, or just said something similar, and I don't own my art like this specific way that I draw eyes. Like, obviously if you're tracing my art, or like, but again, like, I don't super mind that as long as people are just like tagging me or like crediting me. But again, like, if people can draw exactly in my art style, and as long as I'm tagged, that's fine. Like, I think it's fun, and I actually find it like really flattering that people would like my art style so much, I guess. I hate animating, I'm gonna be honest. I hate it so much. I am not a patient person, and animation requires a lot of patience. I really like doing like character designs and things like that. But actual animating is so tedious, which is why I always do the roughs, and then I usually don't end up doing the actual line art or coloring, because like I can do like really rough looking animations, but having to do like neat line art is not my thing. I'm so impatient. In this cutscene, Alice is, she drank the Drink Me potion, and she starts tweaking. So that's just, like, a really rough thing. Honestly, maybe I'll just focus on the beginning part for now. What gave me or inspired me and then made me commit to HABROMANIA? I was in one of my classes sophomore year of college, and I was really bored because we drew only like traditional art stuff there, like, ooh, draw like a pepper from 4 different angles. So I was just doodling like Alice in Wonderland characters in like a cartoony art style, and I was like, low-key, this looks like it would be a really cute art style for like a indie game or something. And then I started coloring them in and posting them on Instagram, and people really connected with these drawings. And then I just kept making them. I started making little animations for it too, because this was when I was first just beginning to start animating. And people really liked them, and people kept asking, oh, when is the game coming out? I'm like, well, it's not real, it's just like an idea. Maybe like years from now I'll make it. But I got contacted by this programmer, and she'd made like a very quick little demo version of like the thing of my game, and she was asking if she had permission to make a fan game, and I was like, do you want to just make the real game? And she was like, oh, sure. So I've been collaborating with her, and it's so surreal still, like, when I think about it. I asked people on my Instagram, I was like, I need some volunteers to help me with this project, and I was expecting, like, 10 responses max, and I got like over 200, which is crazy, and I'm so grateful for. And I don't know, I guess it just like spiraled. Like, I did not expect my little doodles to become this thing, but I'm really grateful for the feedback and support I've gotten from everyone. Yeah, I don't know, it's just really surreal and nice and cool, I guess. It does, the actual work of it though is like a lot. I work on this like pretty much full time. Like if I don't have school or something else going on, I'm like working on this like any other moment of the day. So it's a big time commitment, and there's been times I've been like super burnt out and been like, girl, it's too much, and it also is sort of like a lot of pressure, I guess, because like I want the game to be really good, obviously. But there's also a lot of other people now who want the game to be really good, and so I'm like, if the game is a flop, I'm like gonna be heartbroken, and other people are gonna be upset too. So that's pressure. But I don't know. I think it's good though, and I'm really grateful for it, and happy that it's pushing me to continue with this project and not give up on it. I sometimes will give up on projects. Again, I'm like not a super patient person when it comes to art. Like I want to move on to the next project after next project. So it's nice to have something that, I don't know, I guess I've stuck with for a long time. I'm only 21. I turned 21 in October, so I started this project when I was 19. So this is my first time doing anything like that. I'm also like not used to saying I'm 21. I'm still like, I want to say I'm 20 all the time, but like, I remember like, I don't know how old I look. I get carded every time I try to buy like alcohol or anything at the store. But I don't know. I feel like I'm permanently 19 in my head. Like that's the age that like feels like correct to me. But it's cool. A lot of the other people working on this game with me are also like in their early 20s. There's a couple in their late 20s. I think we maybe like one 30-year-old, but yeah. It's kind of cool to have like other young people working on this project with me. Cordelia's name is Cordelia because I didn't want to do something like Lizzie. I thought was a little too like overdone, right? Like Elizabeth or like Lizzie Borden. And I was brainstorming a couple other names, and I wanted something that sounded kind of like, I don't know, like regal or fancy and very feminine. And Cordelia reminded me of the name of what's her face. Anne of Green Gables, that's like the name she always wanted, because it's like a princess name. But also Cor is, like, I think it's spelled, Cor? I don't know. Something like that is heart in French. And so I thought it went well, because it's like she's the Queen of Hearts, and her name is like a nod to the word heart in French. Her eyes get so much bigger. Okay, let me change that. You'll see the Queen of Hearts crash out in the game. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I have it all written out, and trust, she does have, like, a few crash out scenes. which I think is justified, but I'm excited to draw them. She's been like my favorite character to design. So. Oh, I love. I haven't read Anne of Green Gables, but that show, Anne with an E. Oh my god, I love that show. It's a little slow at times, but it's so nice. I'm so sad it got canceled because it's such a good show. Very like warm and like homey. No, okay, so that's something that someone asked. She crashes out on her ex-husband. A lot of people, I read all the theories that y'all put on YouTube, like under my videos. Some of them I'll like them if I like the theory, even if it's like wrong, just because I think it's like cool. A lot of people think that Cordelia married the Hatter and that she killed him, and that's like they're different people. Her husband she killed, but it was not Charlie, like the Hatter. It was like a completely different person. She met Charlie in the institution she was put in for killing her husband. They're not the same person. Which is good, because the reason she killed her husband is, like, really bad, and, like, I would not write a character like the Hatter, who you're supposed to like, who'd, like, done something like that to a person. But, yeah. What's another theory I see a lot is that the green eyes stand for, like, being crazy, which is not the case. It's, I guess, like, tangentially related to that, but it doesn't just signify that, or, like, for example, Charlie, like, the Hatter would have green eyes, but he doesn't. They do have, like, significance, but it's not just being crazy. Do I ever see people's theories and decide to incorporate them into the story? Well, okay. The thing is, the stories, like, even though it's only been written out, like, recently, like, officially written out, I've had, like, the main idea for the whole story the whole time. So, not really. Sometimes people will be, like, mostly correct with their theories. Or their theories will give me, like, a smaller theory will give me, like, oh, that'd be kind of cute if that happened. But, since I already have it all written out, not really, unless it's already right. So. I'm so bad with keeping the characters on model when I animate. That's pissing me off. The music is actually from the HABROMANIA OST. This is the main Wonderland theme. So we wanted to include different themes for different characters and different sections, and this is going to be like the main theme song of HABROMANIA. Jack came up with it. We talked for a little bit. He's so good though, I don't need to like shove anything down his throat. Like, I'll just be like, here's a theme of what I want to go for, and he'll immediately be like, oh, does this sound good? And it's like the most beautiful piece of music I've ever heard. But I wanted it to be like dreamy and nostalgic and a little like off-putting at the same time. Very much inspired by Over the Garden Walls theme song. But yeah, so that's what that is. My favorite show, like animated or like live action, Arcane's season 1 was really good, like stellar. I didn't like the second season as much, which I know is a hot take, but favorite animated show, gosh, I don't know. Studio Ghibli movies are beautiful artistically. I really like Gravity Falls was fun. Although there was a couple filler episodes I didn't love as much. Oh, Avatar, for sure. There you go. Yeah, that's for sure my favorite. It's so well written and like funny and beautiful, and the world building is great. That's definitely my favorite ever show. Well, animated or otherwise, it's such a good show. I think it's honestly my favorite animated or just live action, just like show in general. My favorite Avatar character? I like Iroh. He makes me cry. But like, actually, I really like, they're all so good is the thing. Like, and they're all so different and feel very real. As a kid, I liked Toph, but I think, like, I like Katara a lot. I like Zuko's problems a lot. He's a very, like, interesting, angsty, emo character. Azula is super cool. I guess I'll say Iroh in general. Yeah, it's really sad with Arcane because it's so beautiful still, but, like, there were certain, like, it's one of those things where the more I've thought about it, I've been like, wait, low-key, that made no sense, or, like, I guess just feeling disappointed. I feel like I loved Victor and Jace's ending to their plotline, but literally every other character I felt like didn't really get, like, the send-off they deserved. And I know people say, like, oh, well, they're setting it up for the spin-offs, but, like, I'm low-key sick of spin-offs, dude. Every freaking Marvel show is like, oh, the multiverse. I don't care about the multiverse. I just want you to tell a good story with the characters you have. Again, I don't mean, like, I still love the show. I think it's great, which is just makes me kind of sad, because I feel like there could have been, the writing could have been, everything else I think was great this season. Like, the music was great, the animation was great, I loved the designs, but some of the writing just bothered me. Yeah, I learned by animating and Krita literally just through trial and error over, like, a bunch of attempts. I've never, like, done any tutorials or anything. Yeah, the Black Rose plot in Arcane was so random. It was, like, barely in the first season at all, and it took so much time away from Jinx and Vi. I felt like Jinx got, like, I don't know, like, Vi got, like, barely any screen time, and I just feel like it was rushed. Like, all the plot points were there, it just needed, like, an extra season. Like, my perfect ending would have been have 3 seasons and have this season completely based on, okay, you know the end of the first act where Jinx and Vi, okay, spoilers, I guess, but, like, not big ones. Jinx and Vi have that, like, fight. Make that the big ending of this season and have the whole season be them trying to find, like, the task force trying to find Vi, or trying to find Jinx, and then at the end there's this big fight, and there's a big war between Zaun and Piltover, and it goes horribly, and a bunch of people die, and that's what prompts, this is a spoiler, Victor to be like, people are bad, we're gonna have to, like, kill them all, which would have set up the 3rd season. But what do I know? Like, these are professional writers, so. Yeah, Caitlyn just completely changed. I'm sorry, this is, like, turning into, like, an Arcane rant. Caitlyn was just, like, she went from being, like, a grieving girl to, like, an evil dictator in the course of, like, 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna have to restart the app because it's glitching out. But it makes, I don't know, again, I just felt like everything was super rushed, which is sad because it's such a good show. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat. Ooh, The Last of Us Season 2. That's another one of my favorite, like, franchises. The games are super, like, near and dear to me. I'm such a fan of them. I'm trying to think of what the backdrop is. I'm really hyped for it. I actually have... Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's fine. I know someone who helped, like, work on, like, the production of it, and they've said, like, it's really good. So, I'm excited for that. I'm also a little nervous because I want it to be done justice, because it's one of my favorite things, and I know sometimes... I liked what they did with the last season, but I'm just hoping that it's as good. But I'm hopeful. I think it'll be a good show. Yeah, I know people say the second game sucks. I think that it's way overhated. I think that, I'm not going to spoil it, but, like, something happens in it pretty early on that people are unhappy with. But I think that they don't give the game a chance, because it's, like, the most meaningful game I've, like, seen. I don't know, it was so heartfelt, and I really connected with Ellie in the second game. I get why people don't like it, but I think they also just didn't give it a chance, and the hate for one of the characters was so overblown. Yeah, basically, everyone hated this one play. You play as two characters. You play as Ellie, the character who's in the first game, and then Abby, this new girl. And people, the hate for this character was, like, insane. Like, I have never seen so much hate towards, like, a fictional character. Like, the actress who, like, played her got freaking death threats, which is horrible. Of course, yeah, I'm totally okay with fan animations, fan art. I actually love it a lot. I know some people are super like, that's my OC, don't draw my OC. I don't care. I think it's awesome and very flattering when people are inspired by my art. Again, just like with credit usually. Like if people will be like, look at my draw. Like I've seen people be like, look at my drawing, and it's fully just something I drew, and I'm like, oh. But if people aren't doing that, I'm fine with everything. Everything else. Yeah, some people are super protective of their stories or OCs or something. Like I know a lot of people who will be like, don't like, I don't know, they're just very, very protective of them. But my sort of take on it is that my art's online, and like at a certain point, like you're gonna find your art posted other places because people are just gonna do it, and you can either get super upset about it and I don't know, but it's also like you might as well accept that it's going to happen, and most people aren't doing it maliciously. They just do it because they like your art. So as long as it's like, as long as you're tagging me, I'm totally fine with it. Again, like, people don't do that kind of stuff maliciously, really, unless they, like, are being like, look at what I drew, and it's fully, like, they didn't draw that. Yeah, otherwise I don't mind it. I've seen, it does annoy me though, I'll see like on YouTube, like fully like an animation I made, just like someone downloaded it and then reposted it, no credit, no tagging, no anything. That bothers me. Just because it's like, I don't mind, like I say on my Instagram, like I don't mind you reposting my stuff, just tag me, and when you can't even like do that, it kind of sucks. But otherwise I'm totally fine with that. And I love any type of fan art, I'm obsessed with. I love it so much. But yeah, and then fan animations, people are, I'm so, like, shocked and honored and just very grateful for the response that this game has had. I don't know, I never expected it, and, like, it makes, like, my inner child so happy, I guess, because, like, I never expected that, like, and it's, like, always what I wanted as a kid, but I just thought it would, like, never happen, so... I'm so bad at keeping her on model. I, like, change how she looks, like, every frame. yeah, you know what? Actually, I was drawing. Someone asked if I draw my characters in another art style. I was recently working on this drawing of Cordelia. So it's a redraw. I hate this drawing. This is one I did a long time ago. It looks like shit because I drew it when I was like younger. But I've been redrawing it. This is another art I did, but it's cool to see my characters in like a completely different art style than I normally draw. So. Do I have any advice for someone else who wants to make a game? I guess I would just say, you can, it's more doable than you think. It's not as scary or as daunting as you think, and you'll learn as you go, which is something I've discovered. I would say also make sure you stay really organized and understand, like, what, like, the scope of your game is and how much time you're, like, willing to commit to it, how much work you're willing to commit to it. But if you really want to get it done, you'll be able to get it done, which is pretty cool. Like, you don't need to know people in the industry. I think the game will be rated. It's not really mature. There are some heavy themes that'll be tackled in it, but nothing like traumatizing, I don't think. Maybe there's gonna be smoking and swearing. I would say like TV 14, if that was like a video game rating, which I know it isn't. So maybe like, it's not really M though, but it's like more than PG-13, so I don't know, we'll see. I don't imagine it being for like children though. The same thing happened with my graphic novel. People were like, oh, can I give this to, like, I'd have adults be like, could my like 10-year-old daughter like this book? And I'm like, well, it's a zombie apocalypse comic, so they kill zombies and there's like a lot of blood, swearing, but like if your child's okay with that, then sure. But it's not like horrible. Someone asked if listening to music distracts me when animating. No, normally, y'all, I'll pull up my Spotify. Normally, I listen to, like, club music / like, emo music / like, I listen to, like, crazy music when don't look at the Hamilton. When I, like, work on my animations, like, I need that, like, level of stimulation. So, like, I've listened to a lot of, like, Charlie XCX while I work. I only listen to, like, the chill, like, vintage vibes when I'm on live stream on Instagram or with you guys. This is not the kind of music I listen to, otherwise. Yeah, otherwise it's literally just, like, techno, rock, emo. Sometimes I listen to, like, musicals, I really like Miss Saigon. Cabaret is good. But yeah. It doesn't distract me. I can't focus in the silence. Like, I literally can't work in the silence. Yeah, someone said, like, just talking more about, like, the rating and stuff. Cordelia's story is pretty heavy, and I don't want to get too much into it because, like, I've actually been considering that because, obviously, like, what happens with her husband on her honeymoon night involves, like, attempted assault basically, but like I don't really want to show that. I feel like it's not necessary, but like it's still like a heavy theme. But I don't like shock horror, especially like at the expense of like I don't know. It's a tough thing to show, and I want to like be respectful of that. But yeah, I'd say like TV 14, not like quite, cause there's no like I don't know. Someone said 80s PG-13. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the smoking is gonna be the caterpillar. And then Alice is 19. And I think there's also gonna be like just cigarette smoking that she can do as like a extra thing. But nothing like I think there's a lot of Alice in Wonderland psychedelic drug abuse stories already out there, and I think those are cool, but like this isn't like I just don't think that's quite like what we're going for here. Yeah, okay, it says like someone said in the animator survival kit, the author says to work in silence. Do whatever works for you. If that works for that artist, that's great. I can't. I can't watch movies when I animate because I get too distracted. But like, I need to listen to music and have like a coffee, and I don't know. That's what works for me. So just see what works for you. Like, there's no like right answer with art. Everyone just has like a different process. Someone asked me if the game is a big hit, which, crossing my fingers, it will be. What I worry about with the fandom? Okay, what I've actually been thinking about this. Y'all know Amazing Digital Circus? Like, the amount of, like, AI slop, like, trash, like, weirdly sexual, aimed for, like, very young children content I see of that game, or of that show, on, like, line is, like, scary. Like, I don't know. I've been super lucky that everyone who's been supportive and has been like a part of sort of, I guess, the development journey has just been like really great. Like, I don't know, I have such a great community on my Instagram and YouTube, and I'm like very lucky for that, because I know a lot of creators have like toxic fan bases. But like everyone on my page is like always so supportive and kind, and I don't know, like I rarely, if ever, get any like messages or comments that like are hurtful. They're always usually just so supportive, everyone's so nice. But I guess like if the game gets bigger, I'd want to keep that vibe. I like how everyone's like respectful, and I don't know, I think sometimes people like, when fandoms get too big, sometimes you get some like really toxic people. And then also like people who like, I guess like violate the creator's like privacy. Like, it's weird. Sometimes I feel like people, I mean, I don't usually show my face. Like, these streams on here are like one of the few times I ever do. And I think sometimes people forget I'm like a real person with real feelings, like, who just happens to like also make art. And so I'd be a little worried that I guess people would start treating me like just a content creator and not like a human being. But I'm hopeful those things won't happen. Fingers crossed. I don't usually do these live streams on a weekly basis, but I could start. I mean, this is the first, like, real live stream I've done, since the last two I've tried have, like, ended terribly because of the Wi-Fi. I do a lot of, like, Instagram live streams, but if you guys enjoy these, I can do them more often. I really like doing live streams, although I don't get as much work done when I'm on call with y'all. I get distracted. But they're still really fun for me, and I love to engage with people like that, so. Okay, I'm reading y'all's chats. Yeah, like, okay, I guess back on the conversation of, like, toxic fandom. I love Undertale. If you all saw my last, like, video, I did some fan art for it. But, like, guys, the fandom on that is, like, sick and twisted. Just so many things, like, the fandom, like, I feel like sometimes they don't know how to act, and I'm like, you can't even say you like those things, so people think you're one of those people. And yeah, the sexualization is crazy. I mean, like, dude, people sometimes will, like, have the most, like, insane takes. Like, I don't know. Why am I seeing, like, for the Amazing Digital Circus, it'll be, like, literally a stick figure who looks like... Here, I'll show y'all. Like, this is the character in question. Like, literally built like that. And then, like, why, like, on Instagram am I seeing, like... That's crazy. Like, it's a stick figure. The people are, like, sick and twisted. But yeah, I'm just hoping that won't happen. And if it does, oh well. What can you do? I guess that's success, right? Yeah, and like harassment too. My little brother, he's 12. But he was telling me there was like something, this like online, like Skrunklies or something. Anyway, this creator made this like little mini series, and then their whole family got doxxed, and people were like sending death threats and stuff. And like the stuff that this dude makes is just like little cartoon animals. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, people are toxic, y'all. Yeah, Sprunky, that's what it was. I, like, don't know anything about it, but he was just telling me about, like, that poor creator got... yeah, it's horrible. Someone asked me what I prefer to be called. Just Sydney. Symphony Sonata is... Okay, this is really bad. I, like, had my Instagram account since I was 12 years old. And my mom was like, oh, this is a cute username, and so help me pick it out. It's like a fucking My Little Pony, like, sounding name. It's not actually one, but it sounds like it, and, like, I would change that. It's fine. It's cute. I would change that name if I could, but I'm basically stuck with it now because that's the name I, like, had when my page started getting popular, so I can't really change it without, like, losing, I guess, sort of, like, brand recognition. So I'm stuck being that, but, my name's Sydney, so, I like it when you guys just call me that. Some people call me, like, Symphony or Sonata. That's fine, too. But my name's Sydney, so... Someone said, does making sprite art / animation take a long time? It actually is the fastest way I animate. I sort of have it down to, like, in, like, a formula, and it's really fast, actually. I have a video where I'm drawing Gravity Falls characters, and I'm, I don't like how that looks like. And in that video, I sort of show my process for how I do those sprites, but I could make a dedicated video to that if that's something you guys would be interested in. It's super easy. So for these this is frame by frame animation, so basically you draw every individual frame, and then you draw, what I do is I draw in between, so like I'll draw this frame, and then I'll draw this frame, and then I'll draw a frame that's like the in-between photo, but I think I can actually pull up probably one of my other breathing animations and show you guys. My computer's like, the files are a mess, ignore it. I guess I'll pull up like the Hatter idle animation I'm working on. Okay, so basically what I do for my idle animations is I separate them into layers. So I'll have this like main drawing, right? I don't know if this is a good one. Yeah, okay. So I'll separate, like I'll put his hand on a separate layer, I'll put his body on a separate layer, I'll put his head on a separate layer, and then basically you just animate each of those pieces separately, but you're just moving the pieces around on the actual screen. You don't have to redraw them all, so you save a bunch of time. And that's how I do most of my idle animations, just for these characters. I prefer doing that. Doing the frame by frame takes so long. I mean, you've seen, how much work have I done on this live stream? Like, nothing. Although it's also because I get distracted when I'm on these things. But I'm just gonna color in this section hopefully today. But yeah. Yeah, so I just animate in Krita because it's where I do all my... Okay, why are our eyelashes so much higher? It's where I do all of my, art, and very cool. They just have all these different tabs for different things. So, I learned how to animate on here too. It doesn't have all the features I'd like there's no tweening function. Tweening, for those of you who don't know, some animation softwares, they have a thing where you'll have like a frame here and a frame here, and then you just do this, and you go here, and there's a tween button, and it'll automatically make them like transition between each other, which is nice, but yeah, this doesn't have that. So I have to do it all manually, but it's what I'm used to, so it's fine. Any advice for animating? Just practice. Start small. My old animations look like shit. You just kind of have to learn the language of it and keep practicing. I mean, it's with anything. You just keep practicing. You can look at tutorials, but honestly, I feel like if you just start, you'll learn and start improving. And don't be too ambitious, you know, like start off with like blinking or breathing or like the basic ball bounce animation. Yeah, I'd love to make an art book sometime, but I'll probably do that once the whole game is out, or at least part 1 is out. I plan on releasing the game in 3 bits, for people who didn't know. But Yeah, I'd love to make one. It's just, it'll take a crap ton of time. I know it will, because it'll be me formatting everything and making everything look pretty and sexy and nice, and I just know it's going to take forever. So, focusing on the game itself to begin with, because people are getting impatient, and I want to have that out before I start making too much merch and stuff. Yeah, I know, I was getting so frustrated with that line, guys. I was like, see, this is why I like to do, like, the sketchy bits, and I don't like doing line art, because I suck at line art, like, so frustrating for me. I love just, like, doing, like, vaguely sketchy looking things, but I imagine there's gonna be 4 endings, and then 1 secret ending is what I have written out so far. And there's gonna be, like, this is like a choice-based game, so you get endings depending on the choices you made. There's gonna be 2 endings where Alice stays in Wonderland, and then 2 endings where she leaves, and then a secret ending that I'm not gonna talk about, because I don't want to spoil everything. Are many characters gonna die? Y'all are trying to catch me because I'll be telling people too many things. Possibly. It's not a horror game, but, I mean, there's some, like, heavy themes. So, maybe depending on the choices you can make, some characters can die. But who knows? You'll have to wait and see. So when I'm talking about endings, I mean endings for the whole game. Every chapter will have, like a goal, sort of, right? So, something that Alice needs to do. And in some chapters, there'll be a way to basically reach your goal in, like, a nice way. And there's another way to reach your goals, which is more harmful and will lead more to, like, the bad endings. But, like, the actual game, there's gonna be, like, 4 main endings. And then I don't really expect there to be, like, a sequel game. I might do a prequel of, like, the Queen of Hearts and Charlie or something, but, like, a DLC, but I'm a firm believer in, like, basically, generally speaking, media doesn't need sequels, and maybe prequels, but I don't know. You should be able to, like, tell a satisfying story where, like, when you tell someone there's gonna be a sequel coming out, the person is like, does it need a sequel? I feel like it ended pretty well. Like, you don't want a story where it's like, yeah, we need a sequel because nothing makes sense at the ending of that story. That hand does not look right. Yeah, I'm not gonna upload those last 2 streams that crashed to my channel. They flopped. Again, they, like, crashed and they were super laggy. I might upload this one when I'm done, if you guys will be interested in watching, I guess, the replay of it. But those other 2 streams are gone forever. I'm never gonna think about them again. They didn't happen. Okay, I know what you mean. Someone asked if there's, like, a canon ending, or I guess, like, a true ending. I think there's, like, a best ending, but I don't think there's gonna be, like, this is the ending. The whole point with games is that like you chose those things, and I feel like all of the endings I wrote have like satisfying conclusions, even if they don't end like the best, or like they're not like the best ending. They still like make sense and, I don't know, fit the game thematically. So I don't know, it'll just be whatever ending you get. That doesn't look right, and it's bothering me. Oh, it's because it closed. Whatever. I'll leave it like that for now. Hi, Britton. Britton's my friend from college, guys. Wow. Britton's also a really talented artist. You should check out her. She has an art account on Instagram if you want to follow her. Man, I wish I studied animation in college. Someone asked if I did. They don't really have that program in the college I go to, so I just study normal, like, fine art. I wish, though, because everything I've learned about animation has just been, like, self-taught, pretty much. And I'd love to have, like, official class about it, but I think I do okay, so... organize the ideas for the endings. I have like a document that has all that information on it. I also have a spreadsheet with all of the tasks, so I don't know if y'all can see it, if it's pulled up. But I made this like spreadsheet and stuff. And it has all the different rooms that need to get done, and just different animations, different tasks that I assign different team members. It's like, I don't want to get too far into it, but it's like very thorough. There's been a lot of stuff that's needed to get done, so. HABROMANIA means delusions of happiness, and it's an outdated psychiatric term. So it's like being too happy in like a way that's doesn't fit with reality. It's not real. Like a psychotic happiness, kind of. Do I have a favorite video game? The Last of Us is my favorite of like that genre of game. The story of it is so good, and I had a lot of fun playing it too. I got pretty good at it, actually. I like Detroit Become Human for like story games, although apparently there's some big controversy with the creator. I don't know much about it, I just know that people say that something bad with the creator. But I liked the Connor section of the game a lot. I also like, obviously, like indie games. Undertale was fun. Played a lot of Sims when I was little. Let me think of what else. Baldur's Gate was pretty fun for me. I really liked Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I play some like co-op games with my family, so. Oh, I play what's it called? What's that one? Animal Crossing, too. I play sometimes. Is there a character in HABROMANIA who I hate? Not really. They're all, like, fun. Like, I don't know, because, like, I don't really have, I mean, like, the Queen of Hearts is obviously, like, the villain. But, like, I kind of love her. I don't know, I always really enjoy writing the characters. I haven't written, anyone who's, like, blatantly evil yet, so not really. But I'm sure it'll happen sometime. There are some characters who are harder to write than others. Like, Alice is really easy for me to write because I feel like she says and thinks a lot of the things I sort of think, or would say. Charlie's fun to write because he's just, like, crazy, and he just, like, rants, and is, like, a weirdo, so I love him. Cordelia cusses a lot, which I haven't done a lot on stream, but IRL I do a lot. So I guess sometimes the characters that I find harder to write are characters I don't really relate to. So, like, in my graphic novel, Love Bites, I have a really hard time writing Wyatt and Reyes, especially Reyes, because I feel like I'm not very similar to them. Whereas characters I do relate to, like, Rosie or Nick, and these are from my graphic novel, are, like, they just write themselves because, like, I just know exactly what they would say. Moist Critical? Yeah, I love Moist Critical. He's so funny. Actually, a lot of times listen to his videos while I'm drawing. Okay, how much of the game have I completed so far? I've completed none of it, right? So we have the demo, which is chapter 1 that we're working on. And, almost all the art for that is finished, and then it's just a matter of, implementation, and it's taking a lot longer than the other stuff will take because we're all working as volunteers right now. So like I'm a full-time college student. The lead programmer, technical developer has a full-time job. Everyone else is just working on it on a volunteer basis. And we're also building everything from the ground up. So once we get to later chapters, it'll be more of like just implementing things, right? Because all like the logic has been made from it. But for now, we're almost done with the demo, which will be the first chapter. And there's going to be 12 chapters with 4 different endings. So however that comes out to is how much we're done. What time period is HABROMANIA based in? Multiple. Wonderland doesn't, like, the time isn't the same as real life, so there's some people from different time periods, sort of, all together there. Alice in Wonderland is, like, 1800s, is, like, when the book came out around, right? So that's, like, the basis, but, I don't want to get too spoilery about it, but just, not in the last, I don't know, from the mid-19... I'll just say like 1940s, 1800s, that time period range. Oh, we had the volunteer things a couple, like last year, and right now we're not looking for more volunteers just because the demo's almost out. But once I finish with that, with the demo, and we kickstart it, I'll probably look into bringing on people, like, more full-time basis. Made I've had some great, I'm so honored the amount of people who volunteered for it. We're trying to keep the project not too many hands working on it, just because it gets kind of crazy when there's a bunch, like 5 million billion people working on it. But, we're almost finished the demo, and then I'll be looking for some more volunteers, so. Direct allusions to Alice Liddell or Charles Dodgson. So, Charlie's name is Charlie because of the author, and then his brother, who doesn't appear in the game, but Charlie had a brother named Lewis. And those are sort of nods to the author. And Alice Liddell, whatever. Alice's name is Alice, but we're not going to put her last name in the game. Because, even though Alice was inspired by that person, I don't think, like, unless you're, like, in the Alice in Wonderland, like, no, you wouldn't really know that. But yeah, so Alice doesn't have a last name that we know of. So the demo's going to be free to play, and we'll have it on itch and then Steam, the demo. And then the real game, again, we're going to be releasing it in 3 parts, like 3 episode chunks, right? And I imagine the full game when it comes out will be like $25. $20, $25, somewhere in that range. But yeah. Yeah, I actually have the Tweedledee characters in it, and there's going to be other Alice in Wonderland related characters, and also some characters that aren't from the books. Like, there's this whole entire section where Alice is exploring this rat village, which is not in the books at all, but I feel like it fits, right? Because Alice shrinks down, and she's in this place with all these, like, little vermin. I think it'll be cute. I'm really excited for that section of the game. I had a really fun time writing it. And I think y'all will like it. But it's a little more inspired by, like, the Nutcracker or something. Yeah, the Rat King's on my, YouTube page, actually, and the collectibles thing. I actually can show y'all some of the rat designs. Somewhere. Yeah. So these are the characters I designed. Alice is going to be about this size. They're like the pack rats, so it's the gang of people she runs into. It's like their leader, like the enforcer dude. But yeah, they're really fun to design. I'm really excited to see them in the game, but they're going to be in the second chapter. So the first chapter is just Alice and the cat, and the second one has more people. The program we're using for the game, well, the program I'm using for the art is Krita. The program we're using for the game is Godot, so. The Croquet Flamingos, yeah, I imagine those will be in a later chapter when Alice goes to the Red Kingdom and meets the Queen of Hearts. So, I guess that's another kind of, like, common misconception. A lot of people call the Queen of Hearts the Red Queen, but they're actually two different characters in the book, and there are two different characters in here, too. So, the Red Queen used to rule, like, the Red Kingdom, and then Cordelia basically killed her and took over as the new queen. So, Cordelia is not the Red Queen, she's the Queen of Hearts, but she's in control of the Red Kingdom, if that's not too confusing. I use a Huon tablet. They sponsored me a few times, which is nice. But I had their tablet before. My dad was really great, and when I was in high school, he bought me one of the tablets for Christmas. So I've been using a drawing tablet ever since. This is a different tablet that they gave me to review. The review's actually on my YouTube. But yeah, it's a pretty good tablet. I actually have two. I have the smaller one that my dad gave me, and then the one that the brand gave me themselves. How did I find a crew to help develop the game? Well, our game designer, Alexis, approached me. She DM'd me and said she was making a fan game, and if that was okay, and I said, let's just make the real game. So we did, and I put out a call for artists on my Instagram. You guys can look at my, Instagram. I have it linked somewhere on my YouTube, but it's just Symphony Sonata on Instagram. And I put out a call for, like, I'm gonna need maybe extra programmers, sound person, composer, artist, animators, and I was expecting to get, like, 10 responses, and I got 200, which I was so floored by and grateful for, but it took forever to sift them all. I mean, some really talented people where I was like, damn, you're more talented than me, like, why are you signing up for this project? Really grateful for all the people who've been on our team, just volunteering. I feel so lucky. They're so talented, guys. You don't even know. I don't like Disney. Someone asked me what are my thoughts on Disney currently. Not very good. They're a massive... I mean, they're not really like an animation studio anymore. They're just like a corporation, right? Like, they don't really care about their artists. I know a man who worked for Disney. He worked on The Lion King. And he's like, man, they're not a good company to work for. Like, even back then, it's just very... They don't treat like they're... I mean, I don't know, this is one person's thing, but like... just that it's a lot of answering to like corporate overlords who aren't really like artists or understand things about art. And Disney censorship laws are crazy. I'm not a big fan of Disney, if you can't tell. I mean, I have such fond memories because I'm like a Disney child. Like, I grew up listening to all the music, loving all the movies and stuff, but I don't know. As a corporation, and not like as like the artists who work for them, I don't know. I don't really like them. I do like Disneyland though. That's fun. Ooh, AI art. Um, I have thoughts about it. You can probably guess what my thoughts are gonna be. It's probably the same as every other artist out there. No bueno. It's like really upsetting. Just like I don't want to talk about it. Not actually, but like it's disheartening. I had a friend one time say to my face, "You know, you're just gonna be replaced by AI art, right? Like they're literally not even gonna need you anymore." And I don't think this person meant it in a bad way, but I got really upset at that. Yeah, I just feel like someone said like, you know, we want AI to like do our dishes for us and like grocery shopping so we can spend time doing art. We don't want AI to do our art for us so that we can spend our time dishwashing and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's an okay, like, tool. Like, I'm not all the way against it as, like, AI being used, not for art purposes, but, like, when it comes to things like, help me spell check this, help me come up with, ways to make this, concept better. That I don't think is horrible at all. I think it can be very helpful. But as, like, something to create art, like, I feel like it goes against, like, the very heart of what art is, specifically. But, like, as a concept for other things, I don't hate it. And maybe that's a hot take, but... I just feel like, for me, art has, like, always been a really big outlet for, like, my feelings and, like, being truthful and honest. And it's, like, the idea that, like, AI could just take that is, like, yikes. I mean, it's not, like... Again, just, like, for art, not so much. And, like, the amount of, like, deep fake videos you see, like, dead internet theory, like, it's just very scary, but what can you do? It's, like, the direction we're heading, and you can't put that genie back in the bottle, so... I liked, someone asked what I thought about the Arcane soundtrack. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the first season more, but they always have pretty banger music. Like, or like Snakes from the first season, Guns for Hire from the first season. The French song from season 2 was pretty good. So is Woodkid's song. Again, I prefer the first season, just generally speaking, but second season had some pretty good songs too. Hey, are any guys from California? Staying safe out there? I've been keeping tabs on what's been going on over there, and thoughts and prayers, guys. It's like really bad. I actually have family from there, so I don't know. I think they're out of the range of the fire, but it's still very spooky. Just stay safe. It's a very scary world recently, so. Ooh, thoughts on the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movies? I thought they were cool. Very Tim Burton-y, but I don't really... This is gonna be a hot take. Um, I watched a documentary on how Nightmare Before Christmas, which is like one of his most famous movies attributed to him, was made. He like was not involved in that process at all, and basically like was people said he was kind of a nightmare on set. And Henry Selick, who made Coraline, basically worked on that movie. Was like basically did everything, and Tim Burton got all the credit for it just because his Disney wanted to use his name for marketing. But aside from like my personal feelings about that situation, like I think I like that he knows exactly what he's about. He has a very cool vision for all his things. Sweeney Todd I like. Corpse Bride is really good. I didn't like Wednesday. But the Alice in Wonderland thing he made was cool, but I also feel like I didn't like how desaturated it was. Because, oh my god, I watched this whole video essay talking about how Alice just conforms with everyone at the end. Anyway, I like the vision for it, but weirdly enough, I find the original Alice in Wonderland creepier, because I feel like it's more of like a liminal space vibe in the first one, and the second one is more, it's very gray, which is fine, but I like the brightness of colors of Alice in Wonderland. But it's not a bad movie. It's just a little too action-y, adventure-y for me. Kind of like Marvelized, but I don't know. I just feel like it's alright. It's just not my favorite, but it's good. Yeah, so someone's asked about like Cordelia's arranged marriage. Okay, again, I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but just in case people are still confused, because I know people sometimes think this just from like reading my comment sections. Cordelia's ex-husband, who she killed, is not Charlie, is not the Mad Hatter. Her ex-husband was her father's business partner, who was like 40-something when she was 19, 18. And the reason she killed him was because, I think it's kind of like implied, but like, during their wedding night, he tried to like get handsy, right? Because he's like, we're husband and wife now, this is what wives do, and he would not take no for an answer, I'll say that. But yeah, it's always been wondering like how, I guess, like, dark, I want to get with that. I think sometimes in movies and things, they can make villains too cartoonishly evil. And, like, I was thinking, if I have a flashback scene, like, this would all be for the DLC, because it's not going to be in the real game, like, the full game. But, like, having that guy, right, her future husband, meet her when she's, like, younger, like, 12 or something. And he's actually, like, really nice, right? Because he's not just, like, gross and leery, because, like, a lot of times people who are perpetrators of things aren't overtly, like, villainous or evil, right? Like, they just seem like nice people. But it's like your actions speak louder than your words, and like the things that they do are like unforgivable. But wanting to show him as like oh, actually he's like a really nice guy, and then you're like, no, he is not. He's like has a child bride. But yeah. I have read Heartless. I love Heartless by Marissa Myers. I'm a big fan of like the Lunar Chronicles. Like I read those when I was in high school. Oh my god, I actually have all the books on my bookshelf right over there. Um, but Heartless basically is a Queen of Hearts young adult novel. Um, I haven't read it in a long time, but she's like the main character, and it's sort of telling you how she became the Queen of Hearts. Very different from Cordelia's backstory, but I do love any, I guess, like sympathetic retelling of like a female villain. I feel like they're so cool. Um, yeah, someone. I didn't make the music for HABROMANIA. We have this really great composer, Jack Wyndham. He actually has a YouTube channel here. He posts like beautiful covers. Recently, he did an Over the Garden Wall cover album, which I actually made the album cover art for. So that's on Spotify. I think it's on YouTube. He did this really beautiful cover of Opal too. We See You, Opal. Super talented dude. He made all the music you're listening to right now, which is all music from the HABROMANIA soundtrack. But yeah, I am not a composer. I love music. I can't make any. I wish I could. Hatter and Alice were gonna kiss in the Tim Burton movie. Guys, that's so scary. Okay, I guess, like, sort of on that same vein, a lot of people have asked me whether Alice and Hatter are, like, a couple in this game. Like, absolutely not. My version of Hatter is in his 30s, and Alice is 19, and, that's like a brother-sister relationship. I mean, people are free to ship, and will, I'm sure, ship whatever they're gonna ship, but that's not how I see the relationship, like, at all. Like, they're so platonic. Really? In that movie, I didn't realize he wanted them to be, like, romantic. That's so weird, because he knew her when she was, like, 10. Or, like, 7. Why would he make them kiss? Some people... I don't know. That's so weird. Why would he do that? I mean, you know, he did the same thing. This is what I mean, like, I don't love Tim Burton, because he did the same thing for Wednesday. He gave her, like, 4 different boy love interests when she, like, did not need it at all. And, like, if anything, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird. He knew her when she was, I think, like, in the original story, Alice is 7 when she falls into Wonderland, and he's a full-grown adult, and she's, like, what, 20? When he sees her again, and he's like, wow, you know, I liked you when you were 7, but now that you're 20, you're, like, hot. That's nasty, guys. I literally kill off a character in HABROMANIA for doing the exact same thing. That's crazy. I had no clue. I mean, age gap relationships are one thing. Age gap relationships where you knew the person when they were 7? Guys, what? Like, okay, if a 60-year-old and a 40-year-old are in love, I'm like, whatever. But, like, at a certain point, that's so weird. need to run to the bathroom. I'll be back. But I'll be right back. Okay. How long does it take me to animate a scene? A long freaking time. I don't know, actually. I don't do a lot of these sorts of animations. The last, like, okay, these are like the roughs. I do a lot of the roughs for my team. The HABROMANIA team, I mean. So, like, I'll do these very vague, sketchy, like, just so you get the gist of what's going on. Like, when I did my Queen of Hearts, I Won't Say I'm in Love animation that's on my channel, and the Hatter one, those are like roughs, right? Like, they're super sketchy. What I'm working on now is the line art layer. I hate doing this. It takes so long. And I usually never do it. So I don't know, however long it takes. If you guys want me to post a live when I'm done, I might. Although sometimes I'm worried I say too much incriminating plot spoilery stuff. The nice thing about if I say it on here is it's like no one has, they can't like reference it, because like there's been times where people have like, I've like replied to comments on Instagram being like giving away plot stuff on accident. Not on accident. I have a really hard time keeping my like mouth shut when it comes to that kind of stuff. And people on YouTube were like, well, actually the creator wrote in a Instagram comment that this plot thing happened, and I was like, I need to delete that damn comment. Like, that is not supposed to be common knowledge. So, and maybe I'll post it. And then if I find out I said too many spoilery things, it's fine. I don't think I've said anything too horribly spoilery. I've stopped myself. Any other original characters? Ooh. Do you know, I actually had a separate story I was making for a while called Haunted. And it was, I have like 3 characters from there. And it was gonna be this like haunted house story. I'm wondering if I have pictures of any OCs. Honestly, besides that, not really. I mostly draw like the characters from Love Bites, HABROMANIA, or fan art. Yeah. And then I draw myself sometimes, but not like, that's not like an original character, that's just me. So, yeah, so the demo will release hopefully by summertime this year. I really wanted it to be released at the end of this year. Unfortunately, that did not happen because life got crazy. Yeah, the demo and the Kickstarter hopefully middle of this year, and the next game, and then the full game, 2026. Or not the full game, the first chapter, 2026. Or I guess first episode. Because we're releasing it in 3 parts, so. Yeah, I know, everyone's always asking, when will it be done? And I feel so guilty all the time, because it's like, I'm trying, girl, I'm trying. It's, like, I said earlier, it's, like, doable to make your own game. It's just a lot of work. And especially never having done it before, and doing it only as, like, background, or, like, as a side gig, while I'm, also in college. I just haven't had as much time to devote to it as I wanted. Funny story, I actually considered dropping out of college last semester. I've always gotten like good grades in college, or just in school in general. Like I had like a 3.9, but it was like the stress of that was like eating up at me, and like I like wasn't turning in my work because I was so busy. I also worked on like a campus job back then. I quit, but things were just getting so crazy, and I feel like I never had any time to myself. Like all my free time was going into creative projects like this, or Love Bites, or my comic conventions. Oh, also, if you're in the DFW area, I'm gonna be at the Fan Expo in Dallas in the summer. I just got notification of that. So, if you buy a ticket, go to Artist Alley, and I'll be there, and I'll sign anything you have. Or maybe I'll give like people free stuff if you're like, say, a secret code. I don't know, but anyway, what I was saying is things were like crazy. I like didn't have any time off, and it's just a lot. I don't know. Someone asked earlier in the chat. I don't know if I answered it. If I enjoy making HABROMANIA, I do, but it is a lot of work. So I don't know. It's been hard. Okay, I need to restart this app. It's just a lot of time to devote to things. Do I make any significant green for my endeavor? I'm an artist. Like, you don't really go into this business because you're like, yeah, money. I did some commissions a while ago. Significant green, like, I wouldn't say all that. All the money I'm gonna make from the Kickstarter is going into the game production, so it's not going to me, it's going to the people working on the project outside of me. Things like that. But hopefully I make more. I made some money at the comic convention. I made some money off that plushie, the plushie thing. I made like a 30% commission off that, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping on making more money when I get out of school and can actually devote more time to it. Because right now this is like it's more of like I don't know. It's my career, but it's also, I'm not using it for like money right now. Oh, someone asked if someone wants me to make Wizard of Oz people. Maybe. Maybe I'll draw like some fan art for them or something. Because I know Wicked, I haven't seen Wicked yet, but I heard it was really good. My website mentions, someone asked, my website mentions Cordelia and Alice's fun shape language. I didn't realize people like went to my website. I know I have it on my Instagram, but like I guess I just don't realize, because I don't track metrics on like who goes onto it. But I'm glad you do. I like my website. It took a while for me to get it all set up. But let's see, for other characters? Yeah, actually, so I can pull it up. Let's see, okay, here's everybody, right? I need to redo hers because I don't like this style for her. Or like the way I drew her here. I want her to be like, whatever. But yeah, so the person I was talking about, basically, when I was designing these characters, I wanted to use a lot of shape language. So the Queen of Hearts has a lot of, let me do this. She has a lot of, obviously, like, hearts in her design. So you can kind of see that heart motif here, that heart motif here. Even her, like, waist, a heart. These are, like, 2 hearts. And then I wanted it to be a super blunt cut right here. Because, like, she chops people's heads off, so I thought that would be kind of, I don't know, just a cool thing to have. And for it not to be floor length, but more, like, youthful. Alice has a lot of bell shapes, so I don't know, it sort of reminds me of like teardrops, like being like weighed down by something, right? The Hatter is he's very angular, and like long, so he's very like stick-like. And then I guess this isn't so much shape language, but when it comes to like colors and stuff, I wanted to have characters have complementary colors. So like, you can see this is the same color, because they're kind of associated. The blue of this is the same blue as the cat's tie, because they're kind of associated. The pink from his bow is the same as the pink from that bow. Queen of Hearts normally wears white, but her normal outfit is this. They're kind of associated, so they have the same black color. But yeah. Another thing is stripes kind of symbolize Wonderland or just madness in general, but especially Wonderland. So the Wonderland characters have stripes on them, all of them do, and Alice doesn't. So you can see stripes, 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 and then stripes. And then Alice doesn't have any because she's not crazy. So marketing for the game is going to be sort of like what I've been doing. Marketing is usually what you pay a lot of money for when it comes to these sorts of games. So we're self-publishing. A lot of indie game developers will have a studio publish for them, but I don't know. You pay a big fee for that and you lose some control over your project. And since I have my social media, I'll just be promoting it on there. I might buy some, use some of the Kickstarter money to buy some ads. But, I'm gonna be doing all the promotion. And yeah, hopefully that'll be enough. I'll probably also ask some YouTubers to stream it, and hopefully get some of the word out that way. But I already have, really lucky to have a lot of people who are already interested in this project, so I don't think I need to spend as much money. Again, this is more of like a passion project more than like a money-making thing for me. Like, I'd do this even if I wasn't getting money from it, which I'm not, so. Alice's brother, yeah, he was a soldier. That's not spoilery, though. I have that all over my Instagram. He's always wearing... I was actually redoing his design recently, because I didn't want him to look too much like the Hatter. I like drawing girls. I have a hard time drawing guys. So I'm trying not to make them look all the same. But, yeah. No, Alice is English. Alice is English. So her brother was English as well. Although maybe I should make Alice, oh my god, Alice American, because I'm American and I feel like I don't know a lot about England, so. Yeah, and I feel like, well, that's too spoilery, so I'm not gonna say that. Is the Ugly Duchess going to be there? I'd like to have her in it. I have plans to have her in Chapter 3, but I haven't drawn anything for her or really written much of it yet, so I don't know what a big part she'll play in there, but yeah. Then I was thinking of having, in the book, basically, there's the Duchess and this, like, pig character, and I was thinking it would be really cute to have, like, a little pig companion who follows you around for that chapter. Just, like, I think that'd be adorable, so. Well, I don't think Alice has a brother in the book. I know she has a sister. Unless she has a brother in the book and I just didn't read it. But, I focused on a brother because, I'm really close to my siblings, and I really love sibling relationships in media, so if you think like Katara and Sokka from Avatar, or Vi and Jinx from Arcane, I feel like we don't really see, I don't know, like brother and sibling, like brother-sister, or just like sibling in general relationships. I don't know, I really like stories with that, because it's like, your siblings, are like the one kind of person who knows exactly what you went through growing up, right? Because they have the same parents, they have the same, like, family traditions, they know all, like, the stuff that happened. I'm really close with my siblings, and I, like, can't imagine, like, how my life would be like if something happened to one of them. So I was like, what's the worst thing I could do? I mean, in Love Bites it's the same thing, like, Rosie and Wyatt, who are, like, two of the main characters, have, like, a sibling dynamic. But, what would happen if, like, that sibling was, like, not around? And so wanting to focus on that and how you sort of process that. And I wanted to give her a brother because I knew I wanted the person to be... Actually, I don't know what... This was a while ago, so I don't remember how I thought of that. But, wanted to be in the army, and, I don't know. I guess I just thought a brother would be better than, like, a sister who was a nurse or something. Yeah, Dipper and Mabel have a good relationship, too. Will Roswell Institute play a big role / appear much in this story? So, I'm thinking of having, this is actually something I was considering when I was writing the full plot out recently, how much of Cordelia, who is the Queen of Hearts, and Charlie, who's the Hatter, how much of their story I want to show in this. But then I realized this is, like, mostly Alice's story, and I want to focus on that. But I'll probably have a DLC with them, and that'll probably take place mostly in the Institute. I think there'll be, like, a chapter in this with the Institute. But, it's Wonderland's still the main, place all this stuff happens, so... Wait, this, like, doesn't make any sense. Yeah, her hand flips the wrong way. I knew it. That's the thing with animations. Sometimes you'll draw a whole thing, and then you're like, that doesn't look right. And you're like, oh, I completely messed that up. Oh, someone's asking about the gameplay I posted. Yeah, so that's being programmed by our lead programmer, right? So she's working on it all right now. We had a talk actually recently where she showed me all the progress she's made. The gameplay videos some of them I've made have been like animated by me, and I send them over to the programmers to be like proof of concept, like, hey, this is kind of how I want this screen. Like the collectibles menu one, I animated that all myself. The opening menu, I animated that all myself. And I sent that over and I was like, this is how I'd love it to look like. So she programmed it based off that, but even though those gameplay videos were animated by me, they're going to be real gameplay. Like that's how it's going to look like. Roswell Institution is the name of the... Yeah, so originally it was... This is all on the website that I have. But, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. It was originally, like, an asylum for the mentally insane, right? Like a criminal asylum. And then, after Cordelia, the Queen of Hearts, killed her husband... Her dad, who's a super rich dude, was like, damn, I don't want my little girl to be in prison or be executed. So he's like, alright, well, I'll just say that she's crazy. And then I'll buy this asylum and refurbish it so it's all nice and stuff. So she has a nice place to live. But it's still like a prison, basically. But just like a fancy one. I know a lot of times in like horror games, I feel like mental institutions can be like used for like big scare factors, or like, oh, it's a sanatorium, all these crazy people there. And I don't think that that's necessarily like the best way to portray them. So when Alice is there, at least it's nicer. It's for like richer people. So right, because I mean her dad, Cordelia's dad, bought it all and he's loaded. So it's all like refurbished and nice, and more like a rehab sort of thing. But yeah, I don't even remember what the original question for that was. Oh, was the Roswell Institute going to be a big part of the game? Yeah, and it's not going to be like horror-y. If y'all have ever seen, what's that movie with Winona Ryder? And she's, Girl Interrupted? Think about that. Like, that's more the vibe I'm going for, rather than, like, typical horror game, like, oh, the crazy peoples are here. Like, that's not, yeah, I don't know. And what they considered crazy back then was, like, anything. Depression, they'd be like, well, you're hysterical. Let me cut part of your brain out, so... The gameplay's gonna be like point and clicky, so yeah, Franbo, someone mentioned, Franbo's like an inspiration for this sort of. I think I also want to include like a card game mechanic, which is gonna be like a deck builder, sort of like inscription based, and then think about like Undertale too, but with more of an emphasis on exploration and checking out all these cool locations that we've drawn. It's also it's gonna be choice based too. So, it's just like a blend of all my favorite genres, because I feel like sometimes, point and click can be a little monotonous, like it's just like fetch quest after fetch quest, so I wanted to have more, like the player actually does things that affect the endings and the story. Okay, that's a lot better. It's like, why does her hand flip? That makes no sense. I love Inscription. It's so fun. That's another one of a game I really like. I actually haven't defeated it, but I've played a lot of it. Super fun indie game. Y'all should check it out if you haven't. Yeah, so more of like, okay, someone keeps asking, I haven't played Disco Asylum, is that Asylum? People keep telling me I should though, apparently it's a really good game, but I haven't played it yet. I really should though. There's a lot of games I should play, people keep recommending them to me, and I just don't have time, because I'm always making my own. I haven't played Creek's game either, I don't know what that is. Actually, I haven't heard of that before. Yeah, so someone asked if I'm going to make games similar to Telltale games. I sort of imagine this as a foray into that kind of thing, because there are, like, dialogue options. I like Telltale games. Well, I think the studio closed down, though. I'm pretty sure it did, right? Between the second... Wait, why does this one not have... But yeah, once I finish HABROMANIA, I'd love to keep working on more games. I love telling stories. I'm a writer and an artist, but I low-key like writing as much, or sometimes even more, than drawing, so there's definitely more stories I'd want to tell, but one thing at a time. But yeah. I feel like there needs to be a transition frame between these two. Right? We get more info on the White Queen and the rabbit. I don't want to get too spoilery. So they're going to be in the second act of the game. So, here, give me 1 second. They're going to be in... Since it's going to be released in like 3 episodes, they're going to be in the second episode, and then the third as well. But, so, the White Queen, I imagine all the people... Oh, no, that's so... I'm about to spoil a lot. I can't say that. I'll try to give, like, superficial dynamics, I guess. Well, I really enjoyed that one animation I did where they were playing chess together, and the White Queen can't decide on, where she's gonna put her chess piece, and the White Rabbit's just getting really fed up because he's, like, long-suffering, I'll say. And she's very, like, distractible and ditzy, and, yeah, I keep almost spoiling a lot of the game. Again, I have a problem with oversharing sometimes, so I'm gonna try not to... You'll see, I think you'll like it. Someone's asking if the singing or talking flowers are going to appear in the game. Yeah, they're going to be in, I think, the second episode. But Alice is going to shrink down and, why is that not working? She's going to be, I think there might be, like, enemies that she has to fight against. That's crazy. Animation takes so long. Every 24 seconds is 1 second. And I've only done the line art for 10 frames. So. Oh, I need to work more. Someone again brought up Love Bites. I need to work more on it. This project has like taken over my life. And honestly, again, I mentioned this earlier in stream, but I feel like I can be really hard on myself with some of my old art. So like when I reread it, all I see is like, oh, I would change this thing, I would fix this. So I've been a little discouraged from working on it recently. I guess just thinking to myself like, oh, this is kind of trash. But I always really appreciate it when people, you know, like it or they like care about the characters. And I'm like, oh, like it's not horrible. But yeah, I need to work more on it. Once HABROMANIA is out. It'd be great. I'd love to make it into like an animated series someday. Maybe that's the next project. Because I love those characters. Mean a lot to me, so. How was Alice's life before the Institute? I imagine Alice was like kind of, okay, in the book she's like kind of, I don't want to say like weird, but definitely like more quirky. I feel like has like a lot of weird connotations, like she's so quirky, but I imagine kind of like lonely. Her brother, I imagine, is like her closest / only friend. Like she has like superficial friendships, but he was like her best friend basically. But I imagine she comes from like a upper middle class family. I mean, they can afford to send her to an institution for her like mental well-being, and you can't really do that if you're like working class, which sucks, but it's just true. So I imagine it was okay, but she's kind of eccentric or doesn't really fit in. Very like neurodivergent coded. She's at 19 during the story. I started working on this project when I was 19, so she's gonna be 19. I also feel like that's a good age where she's just sort of an adult, but also like not quite. I also hate stories about teenagers. I was a teenager for too long, guys. I don't want to talk about teenagers. Being a teenager sucked. I hated it. It was horrible. I just turned 21 a few months ago, and being an adult has been so much better than being a teenager. It's so many like, okay, you know Euphoria? Why are they all teenagers? I don't want to see. It's also like, I don't want bad things to happen to kids. And so like when I'm watching something and something bad happens to someone who's like 16, I'm like, it makes me feel bad and like makes me feel weird. I'm like, I don't like, it sucks. And so I'm like, I'd rather have this, not that it's like I want bad things to happen. Like, if bad things have to happen to my character, I'd rather them be an adult than like a child, because it's really sad when they're like children. Like Euphoria, they should all be like 20, right? I mean, the stuff that they're up to is not stuff that, I mean, y'all, my teen years were boring. I wasn't doing, if y'all seen Euphoria, they're doing like Molly at a carnival, and I'm like, Molly? Like, and then they're like 17, I'm like, why am I watching this like 17, 16-year-old doing Molly and like hooking up with like 50-year-old men? Again, it just makes me feel weird, because it's like, at least have them be like 18, I don't know. Yeah, so that's why Alice is older. I want her to have life experience, and I don't want bad things to happen to children. And again, because I feel like I'm permanently 19, so it helps me like relate to the character, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I get that 17 and 16-year-old, those things happen, but I don't know, I feel like it's weird to watch, like, in Euphoria. Like, okay, in Euphoria, why am I watching, like, a BDSM relationship between, like, two 15-year-olds? Like, why am I watching that as an audience member? I get that it happens. They could be more subtle about it. But yeah. The carousel scene was crazy. Dude, Cassie's... Ooh, okay. What's the age gap between Jack and Alice? Oh my god, I have it written down somewhere. He's a few years older than her. I think, like, I had it be 3 or 4 years or something. 2 to 4 years is, I think. I have a specific age, I just don't remember what it is. They're pretty close in age, but he's older enough that he's very, like, big brother rather than, like, a peer, or, like, yeah. Like, I think that, she felt very, like, protected by him. Jack is Alice's brother. If you've seen that clip on my YouTube of her driving with a guy in an army uniform, that's her older brother, Jack. Yeah, so someone asked about Krita having a animation feature. It's just in the top right. You can go to all different... I always draw in default, and then if I'm animating, I'll go to animation, and if I'm animating, like, not as, like, the main thing, like, I just want, like, an animatic, I'll do storyboarding, which is the same thing, it just has a smaller animation toolbar. Yeah, but also, someone said, like, Charlie is, like, a brother figure to Alice. He is, but not in the same way Jack is, because I don't want it to be, like... When I was writing it, I didn't want it to be, like, Alice just, is replacing her brother. Or, like, that they're super similar. They're not, like, at all. Like, Charlie... And when I write, like, Jack and stuff, he sounds and acts completely different to Charlie. Charlie's kind of, like... Out of all the characters, he's the one who's most, let's say eccentric, because I feel like the word would be crazy, but I know that's, like, a problematic word, but, I mean, it's probably one they would have used at the time, right? He, like, actually, like, doesn't know what's going on half the time. And, Alice is mostly just... She's, like, I'd say her main thing is she has, like, she's more sad, right? And that's why she ends up in the Institute. And Cordelia ended up there because of everything that happened with her husband, but, like, Charlie was sent there because he had, like, an episode. You know what I mean? Like, something really bad happened. And they have a very different relationship than Alice has with her brother. And it's, like, you can't really replace people. Like, I've had a lot of people in my life who I, like, love, and then, I move away and I don't see them again. and I'll get new friends and things, but like they don't replace the old ones. Like the old ones are still very different. Like everyone, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, brother figure, but in a very different way, because you can't replace people. Can someone go over the lore quickly? Okay, I'll speedrun the lore. Alice wakes up after a really long fall into Wonderland, although it's never called Wonderland in the game itself. But she wakes up there. She doesn't have any memories about what happened or where she is. She just knows that she wants to leave, right? She needs to get back to wherever she was before, and try to get back her memories. So she goes and she's exploring Wonderland, and she's trying to find a way out. But a lot of obstacles in the way. She meets a lot of people who aren't exactly interested in helping her. So yeah, that's the general premise. There's more lore you can look at on my YouTube. My Instagram is probably going to be the best place for lore. I post most of my stuff on there. I only started my YouTube channel recently, actually. And I have a little bit of information on my website, but not much. Who's my favorite Arcane character? Guess, but it's Jinx. I mean, oh no, you know what though? I also love Vi. I feel like Vi gets a lot of hate. Vi's like, I related a lot to Vi. I'm an older sister. I'm the oldest sister, actually. So I related a lot to her, and just wanting to care a lot for people. And I feel like people forget all the garbage that Vi went through, and they're like, oh, Jinx had it so rough. I'm like, okay, so did Vi. Like, but I also love Jinx. I love her character design. I love the way they draw her madness. I also relate a little bit to her. I love her, like, I don't know. I love how she, like, decorates her little lair and all her, like, punk rockness and craziness. I don't know. It's great. Oh, am I a Jace lover or hater? Okay, I don't want to spoil the show for people who haven't seen it. During that certain scene at the end of Act 2 of Arcane with Jace, I was like, Jace, girl, what are we doing? But I low-key love Jace. This is gonna be the hottest take. I like Jace more in his, like, prep, like, slicked back hair, like, pretty boy era, more than his, like, grizzled facial hair, Markiplier era. I don't know, he's so, like, I think he's really cute. He's great. And he's so, like, stupid-coded, which, like, I love in characters. I love, like, a himbo, I'm sorry, they're so fun. Just, like, the whole fight scene with him and Vi, oh, I love it. They're so fun. I like Victor, too, he's cool. But I love how, like, gullible Jace is. Like, that sounds like a read, it's not. Like, I genuinely love it. And I love him and Victor's relationship. That was, like, the highlight of the second season to me. How do I learn to draw hands? I don't think I'm good at drawing hands, dude. I think I suck at them, but thank you. Just practice, honestly. I did my graphic novel. I'm gonna restart this because it's really laggy. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, hands! Yeah, I did my graphic novel, and I draw, like, 5 bajillion million frames for the graphic novel for my comic, Love Bites, which is on Webtoons, if you want to read it. And then I also have physical copies that I'm going to be selling soon. But honestly, just the repetition of being forced to draw hands over and over and over really helps. So just practice, practice, practice. And then you sort of learn shortcuts. Like, hands are weird to draw. I usually draw, like, this sort of shape, and then you draw the thumb, the finger. I don't know, something like that, right? How old am I? I'm 21, recently. Which is still weird to say. I still feel like, when people ask me how old I am, I want to say 20. But yeah, officially an adult. And then everyone I work with is, I only let people who are older than 18 volunteer, because I don't want to, well, first of all, like, I don't want to be putting, like, children to work. But usually I would say the average age is about, like, 23. I think most of them are my age, a little older than me. But yeah, I think there's, like, someone there who's, like, late 20s, and then I might have, like, a 30-year-old, but I think, yeah, 20s generally. Is Alice gonna have a crush or romantic partner, or is she gonna be single? I think I'll have... I don't know, I don't think Alice needs a romantic partner. That's not really what her story's about. Like, it's more about herself. I like romance arcs in things if they feel, like, earned or justified. But I don't want to have one in there just so I can be like, oh, I have a romance arc in my thing. I imagine... I haven't said... Well, I don't know if I should say that. Again, I'm trying not to spoil too much. Definitely not the Hatter. No matter what, it's not going to be the Hatter, dude. The Hatter's like 30, and she's 19. I'll probably have Alice say some stuff about, like, you know, maybe imply that she finds certain characters attractive or something, or likes them, but I won't have it be, like, a main part, 'cause it's not really what the story's about. Like, maybe she'll have a crush on one of the characters, but, like, that's it, you know? No, I imagine Alice likes girls. I'll just say it, like, I mean, it probably, like, she lives in a time where that's, like, not okay. So it probably won't be, like, a big part of the story, just because it's, like, I don't know. Again, I wasn't gonna have it be a big part anyway, but I'd imagine if I did, I'd have it where the player can romance boys or girls, right? I mean, and then it also, like, fits more for whoever's playing the game. But I mean, yeah. I mean, look at her, like... I just don't see, like, romance being a big part of the game for Alice. I mean, obviously the Mad Hatter and the Queen of Hearts have their own thing going on, and I think that that's enough romance for the game. I don't need to complicate it further. Someone asked what sound this is, like the song. This is from the HABROMANIA OST by Jack Windham on YouTube. Super talented dude. He's our composer for the game, and we had a couple options. Really talented people, but I heard some of Jack's music online on Instagram, and I was just, he was playing this like the Over the Garden Wall theme on a detuned piano, and I was like, holy crap, this is like so good, and it fits the vibe so well. So I used it for one of my like animation videos on Instagram, and then he was like, dude, if you ever need anyone to like make more music for it, just let me know. And I was like, bet. Super talented guy. I will probably sell the soundtrack like as a downloadable file when the Kickstarter comes out, and y'all should support him. He's really, really talented. He's Canadian, great guy. I love Cordelia. She's definitely my favorite character too. I literally have to stop myself from just only drawing her all the time. Like, my Instagram is like just her. And like, I'm like, no, you need to draw the other characters. Like, Alice and the Hatter exists too, and like, so does everyone else. I have a least favorite character. I like writing all of them. I don't know. They're all fun in their own way. I guess sometimes with Alice, I have to decide on like because she's the main character. She talks a lot. Because okay, when I'm writing for the game, I don't just write, like, what happens, I have to write, like, what she says when she interacts with objects, right? Because in point-and-click games, you click an object and then the character remarks about it, or it says something about the object. So that's where I get a lot of Alice's personality, and sometimes I'm like, is that too sassy for something she would say? So I guess just sometimes, since she has a lot to say, like, I'd say Alice has, like, by far the most voice lines, or whatever, in the game. Sometimes just the sheer volume, it's like, what would she say about this? But yeah, I'd love to have more merch. I actually have a bunch of stickers. I'm going to be selling them on my website soon. I just need to it's just been so much, guys, it's so busy. I really hate responding to emails or doing, like, delegation stuff. But, that ends up being a lot of what I end up doing. All I want to do is draw. But, I need to set up my website, so that'll be next, and then I'll be selling a bunch of merch there. I have pins, I have stickers, the cat plushie. I'll show y'all him. He's like perfect. I love him. But that recently, the campaign for that ended, so we're not selling those anymore. I'll probably do another one in the future once HABROMANIA is out, but right now it's like all hands on deck for getting the game itself made. I know, the plushie, I was so thrilled that the plushie got made, dude. It's so surreal seeing him, like, I was talking to my dad about, like, what character, when the company approached me and was like, hey, I feel like you should make one of your, like, we'd love to collaborate with you and make one of your characters into a plushie. We were, like, debating on which ones to make, like, Alice or Cordelia or but I was like, we have to do, the cat. The cat's, like, perfect plushie content. Like, I don't know, he's just built for being a plushie. Oh, someone said, okay, Gizzy said that they're working on art right now. When they look at my art, they judge theirs. Okay, comparison is the thief of joy. I know that's like fortune cookie, like, knowledge. But, like, dude, I feel the same way every time I open up Instagram. I'll be like, my art is trash. I hate it. I hate myself. I'm horrible. I shouldn't be an artist. Do not compare yourself to other people. Like, the nice thing about art is, like, it's all different, and it's supposed to all be different, and everyone's supposed to look different. Everyone's at different progresses, right? Like, I've been working on art since I was 12, and my art used to be, like, trash. Like, awful, awful, awful. But you just have to keep sticking with it, and, like, if you find joy in making those pieces, I don't know, I think it's worth something. Like, just don't be so hard on yourself. And, like, again, don't compare yourself to other people. I do that all the time, so, like, I'm one to talk. But, yeah, someone said compare yourself to you yesterday, not other people. That's so true. Wow, so wise, guys. Ooh, the cat. Ooh, a guy. He's so fun to write. So, I imagine him having, like, the most normal guy TM voice, like, just sounding super neutral and, like, friendly, like a TV host or something. He's, like, he likes Alice. Like, he's kind of like her friend, but also she, like, doesn't really trust him, because he, like, doesn't give her straight-up advice. And what I found interesting is that in, like, all the Alice in Wonderland interpretations, the cat is sort of like Alice's ally, and even in the book, Alice is, like, visibly and verbally happy to see the cat when she sees him. She's like, oh, cat. Oh no. Laggy, no! Well, nothing I can do about it. I got distracted by the lag. But the cat and Alice are, like, kind of friends. But he's definitely more than he seems, sort of. He was really fun to design. I didn't want him to look too much like the Disney version, but I also didn't want him to look like a hyper-realistic cat. Like, I thought it was so funny if he's just, like... I mean, this is how he's built, right? Like... I love it. I think he's so goofy. Alright, people keep asking in the chat when the game's set. It's like, there's kind of multiple answers to that, because, like, Wonderland, the time doesn't work the same as it does in real life. So, the original Alice in Wonderland is set, like, 1800s. And so a lot of things in Wonderland are very, like, 1800s-y, but I would say from, like, the 1800s to, like, mid-1940s period. But also, it's a fantasy world, so, like, I mean, it's supposed to be real life, but if it's, like, you'll ever see those things where it'll be, like, ranking 10 horrible garbage things about Stranger Things. Oh, this video game console they're playing didn't come out until a year after the Stranger Things was supposed to, like, it's a movie, guys. Like, it's not that deep. So, if you see some things where you're like, that actually wouldn't be in here, it's like, well, it's a cartoon, so, but yeah, generally vintagey times. The real reality, it depends, because there's different, like, I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll just say, like, yeah, different time periods, and then there's flashbacks to different time periods as well. People keep asking also a release date. The demo should come out sometime this year, and then I'm going to start, because I'm still in college. Once I finish college, I'm going to work on this full-time, and then the Kickstarter should hopefully give us some capital to start hiring people, and then hopefully this project will be more of like a full-time thing, and chapters will come out faster. We're also building it up from like the ground, so since we're working the demo, we don't have any of the stuff programmed before this, so once we have all the mechanics in place, it should be faster for each chapter to come out, because you're working on it, like, or I guess just because you're more like dragging and dropping assets into framework that you already have built. But yeah. I'm a senior in college. This is going to be my last semester. And people always ask me, they're like, what are you going to do after college? Because they're like, you're an artist, like, you're going to be broke for forever. And I'm like, well, yes, but also, basically, my plan after college is to just do what I've been doing, like with HABROMANIA and these other projects, but full-time. I think that's the goal. I feel really lucky to even be in a place where I can, like, say that that's something I can do and that, like, being viable. Super lucky to have the audience I have and the support I have for my projects too. I mean, all I want to do all day is just work on my artistic endeavors, so it's nice that that's something that's like actually a viable career option. But anyway, long story short, once I finish college, I want to work on this more full-time and have more time to work on creative projects. If each of the main characters had their own modern theme songs, what songs would they be? I have been thinking about this actually. Cordelia's would be Hayloft 2. Washing Machine Heart's also good for her. I'm gonna restart this animation because it's not loading. And Charlie's would be Charlie's Inferno. It fits him so perfect, y'all. Like, I've literally been thinking about making animatics to it, but I haven't had the time. Gosh, I don't know with Alice. I'd have to think a little more on that. Probably another Mitski song. Oh, you know what? Maybe a Billie Eilish song, actually. Like, I'm trying to think of... I like Billie Eilish a lot. I'm trying to think of a song that could be good for Alice. Ocean Eyes isn't my favorite song of hers, but that could be a good song for Alice. Or Zanny. I do like Zanny. Yeah, HABROMANIA is the first game of it. That hand is way too big. Oh lord. How was their relationship before the White Queen's beheading? I might retcon that, just since I've changed some of, I guess, the magic system / like mechanics by Wonderland Works. But either way, she used to be a more competent leader, and now she's very frazzled and kind of not there. So before, I think it was more of like an actual partnership, right? I think that the rabbit's always been a little overworked and very high-strung, but I think it got worse after the White Queen sort of gave up and just is kind of all ditzy and aloof. Pledge tears? Aw, thanks. I imagine, well, okay. I actually have been working on the Kickstarter recently, or just the page. I kickstarted my graphic novels, and what I learned from that is it takes a lot longer to set up a Kickstarter page than you'll think. So I was thinking about having the base tier being for the first part of the game. And then having some more like merch ones that have like the deluxe, right, which comes with background art and a downloadable of the music of the game. So having different tiers for that, but I haven't had a specific amount yet. Did Cordelia bring anything with her to Wonderland? I guess the clothes she was wearing, and then maybe her axe. I haven't super thought about that. I mean, Alice brought her dress because I'm not gonna draw her naked, right? But she didn't really, Alice didn't really bring much else, but I'll think about that. That's a good question. My favorite Alice in Wonderland adaptation is the Disney original one. As a little girl, I love that. I was always such a big fan of Alice in Wonderland. I had like 2 Alice in Wonderland themed birthdays over my life, I think, when I was a kid. Why is Cordelia always underwear? Why is she always wearing her underclothes? Because she's just chilling in her palace. I mean, don't y'all wear like your pajamas when you're just at home? I feel like she literally, like, why would she dress up if she's just hanging out, right? She likes comfortable clothes. That's comfortable for her. I don't think she really cares. Yeah, it's just like wearing your pajamas, right? And I guess I just was thinking, you expect the whole game to see this, like, crazy dictator, and you see all these posters of her, and she's wearing her big dress, and she's all scary, and she literally, in real life, it's like, if you expected to see that, and it's just this girl in her pajamas, you'd be like, this girl? So that's sort of the vibe I wanted to go for. We're using Godot to develop HABROMANIA. And that's just a programming software. How did Alice get to Wonderland? You're gonna have to play the game to find that out. I don't want to spoil. Again, I feel like I spoil way too much sometimes. How does Cordelia feel about Alice? So, Alice meets the Queen of Hearts in the 2nd episode, so I won't say too much about that since it's gonna be a while before that one comes out. But, I think that by the time Alice meets Cordelia, Cordelia is not a very... She's kind of a bad-tempered person. She's not a very happy person. So I think she doesn't care about Alice at first, right? I mean, she doesn't really care about anything, except for like revenge. But I think she thinks Alice is like too polite. Because Alice and Cordelia are very different people. I've heard of Sally Face. I watched like 10 minutes of a Jacksepticeye playthrough, but I don't know too much about it. I thought Sally was a girl for a long time, but I like his design. Oh, damn it. I've been using the wrong brush size. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I actually started playing Alice Madness Returns recently. Super fun game, although for some reason it's like not compatible with my computer, so like the 3 times I've tried, like 4 times I've tried to play it. 3 of the times it just crashed on me and then shut down my whole computer. Like, my whole entire computer froze up and I had to restart the whole thing. So I haven't played it in a while. But it was fun when I was playing it. How does Charlie feel about Alice? I think he really likes her. He kind of likes everyone, though. Charlie's very friendly. But he's also kind of obsessed with himself. He's like... He was very much inspired by, trying to think, Saul Goodman-y vibes. Better Call Saul is one of my favorite TV shows. But he's also, like, kind of, unhinged. Think about, like, Papyrus from Undertale or something. But, he likes Alice, and he likes that Alice puts up with him, so... How long am I gonna stream for? I have no clue. Until I finish these next couple frames, and I'm gonna color them in probably. Do I have roommates? Yeah, you'll probably just heard my sister come in, right? I'm at home right now. So, usually I'm in college, but, right now it's winter break, so I'm at my parents' house, and that was my sister coming in. How much of the game do I already have planned out? I have the whole game planned out. I, like, locked in a couple weeks ago. And, last week. I might say a couple weeks ago. Earlier this week, actually. Scary. Time passes so weird when I'm on break. I, like, lose track of the days. But I completely finished writing the whole summary of the plot for the full game. I knew kind of the gist of what I wanted it to be for a long time, but, finally locked in and wrote, like, everything, so. Have I considered the characters Myers-Briggs type or personality? Yes, actually. I figured out everyone's Enneagram. I'm a big Enneagram girl, so, Charlie's a type 7, Cordelia's a type 8, Alice is a type 9, and then Myers-Briggs, I think Alice would be an INFP or an ENFP, depending on how extroverted she is in the game. Charlie is a... Cordelia for sure is an IN or S. Actually, for her, it could be multiple. I'm more familiar with the Enneagram than Myers-Briggs. How did I manage to get everyone organized together for the project? Well, I had that thing where I was asking people to volunteer, I was opening up slots, I was like, hey, if you want to volunteer, and people responded. 200 applications, which is crazy, and then I reached out to some of them, and we have a Discord server where we exchange all the stuff we've been working on, and then I have a bunch of different documents and spreadsheets where I list out what needs to be done, what's already been done, who's done it, things like that. But yeah, I keep in contact with people on the team through our Discord server or DMs. long does it usually take me to animate these? I don't usually do these, so I couldn't say. I do a lot of the roughs. So the roughs are going to be like the more sketchy type animations, and if you've seen my Hatter dancing, that one that it was like the Masochism Tango, or I did the Cordelia Queen, I Won't Say I'm in Love, those are examples of like what roughs would be. So super quick rough animations, which are great for like storyboards. It's like animatic style, right? I don't really do frame by frame animation much. I hate doing it. It takes forever. I mean, I've been working on this one frickin' clip. It's not even the past 1 second for how long of the stream? Forever. And I animate usually on 2s, so but I use 24 frames per second. But generally speaking, I animate on 2s. So, yeah. However long it takes. Too long. Usually I listen to, like, club music. A lot of Charlie XCX. Kind of, or like Daft Punk. Listen to, like, emo music sometimes, but I usually listen to, like, more hype music because, I don't know, it helps me focus and, like, stay energized. I only listen to, like, oldies or the HABROMANIA music when I'm on stream with y'all. Because I'd get copyrighted if I listen to, like, my normal bangers. Would I compare HABROMANIA to any musical? I don't know. Maybe Cabaret. It's set in, like, a similar time. And, like, I guess the issues are kind of the same, right? Because Cabaret is a lot about, sort of putting your head in the sand so you don't have to confront how bad things are around you, which is one of the, I mean, that's basically what HABROMANIA means, like, delusions of happiness. So I don't see, someone asked if there's, like, a switching characters or, like, gameplay. I think that there might be a section, if I do a DLC, where you play as a different character, but I think you generally stay as Alice. You might have, like, I mean, she changes size, so when she drinks the potions or eats food, but that's not really, like, a mechanic that you toggle on and off, I don't think, or at least not in the first episode. So, we'll see, but I don't have anything like that super planned right now. Any info on the blue caterpillar? Yes, actually. He was so fun for me to draw. If y'all haven't seen him on my... Let me pull him up, actually. When I was doing some creature character designs, because I normally only draw people, but I wanted to try drawing some other characters. Here's how I imagine him to look like. And, I know in, like, the Alice in Wonderland movie, he just looks like a normal dude. Who's, like, kind of caterpillar vibey. But I wanted him to look like an actual caterpillar, and, like, caterpillars are, like, not fully developed butterflies, right? So they're like babies, so I gave him these, like, fat baby roll arms. Y'all seen, like, babies, like, fresh babies, right? They're, like, their arms are so fat, like, it's so cute. I love it. But, yeah, so that's what I wanted to give him, these, like, little baby hands, and, like, a million of them. And he blinks, all his eyes blink at different times. This is an old drawing, but... yeah, and he smokes his pipe, and I'm thinking about having a cutscene or a whole section where Charlie or Alice basically accidentally smoke his thing too, and they start being like, oh, I feel kind of funny, but we'll see what happens with that. Is there an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland I personally dislike? Ooh. Gosh, I don't... Let me think. I think I don't like adaptations where Alice is sexualized. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen photos in the past of, like, here's Alice, but, like, she's, like, really sexy. I'm like, girl, she's just, like, I don't know. To me, she really, like, embodies the idea of, like, girlhood. And I don't know, it feels weird to have her be, like, viewed in that way. I don't know, at least I see, like, costumes of it. Also, like, ones that are really about, like, I don't know, I don't really, like, dislike any off the top of my head. I guess just more, like, yeah, I don't know, I guess I don't know that many. Out of all my characters, who would I trust more? Probably Alice. She's, like, she's a good person. Like, she's pretty normal. She's got, like, a good head on her shoulders, mostly. And the Hatter's nice, but he low-key, like, I feel like he doesn't even know where he is, so I don't know if I trust him with anything. What would be each of the characters' favorite movies? Ooh, like modern movies? I don't know, I hadn't thought about that. The Queen of Hearts is, like, secretly really into, like, romance books and, like, trashy, like, novels like that. So, probably some, like, romance movie that's, like, really sad. I can't think of any for the other people. Cordelia would not like the kissing booth. No! Wait, low-key? Maybe for, like, the brain rotness of it, because I like the kissing booth for the brain rotness of it. It's, like, very entertaining to watch. Like, watching it with your friends is so fun. What's an Alice in Wonderland adaptation I like but no one else knows of it? I don't really know that many Alice in Wonderland adaptations. I know a lot of, like, animes will randomly do, like, an Alice in Wonderland episode, or maybe that's literally just Ouran High School Host Club. I like things that are loosely based off the premise of Alice in Wonderland. Like, Spirited Away is a very, like, Alice in Wonderland vibey. Oh, Cordelia would love Twilight. She would love, R.I.P. Cordelia, you would have loved Twilight. What was I saying? Oh, but Spirited Away is sort of like a loosely inspired Alice in Wonderland story. It's like this little girl who enters a strange world and... Oh my god, this is taking so long, I'm gonna cry. 2 more line art frames, and then I'm gonna switch to coloring, and then that'll be the end of the live stream. Hi, Dad. Guys, my dad's in the chat. Oh, Bridgerton season 2. She would love that. AO3 is crazy. I've actually considered that, like, my metric of success. I'm like, Sydney, if your work ends up on AO3, someone writing stuff about your characters, you'll have made it. Like, that's how you'll know, like, you're in the big leagues now. But normal things, please. I've seen some crazy things on that website. Like, crazy. Like, shocking. Do the characters have any disabilities? I've been... So, something that's, like, sort of been on my mind is, like, wanting to, I guess, discuss these things or have them included in my stories in, like, a respectful way, because I know that representation is important, but also, like, harmful representation is, like, very bad. So, I don't want to say anyone has anything until I've, like, done a lot of research on it. So, I won't, like, yeah, I guess I won't really, like, I don't really want to, like, answer that until I've, like, done more research. I'll say like, you know, some people have been like, some of the characters I guess have been like Alice, for example, has a lot of symptoms of like depression or something, right? Because that's something like I feel like I kind of understand, but I don't want to be just like throwing in like random things just for like clout, or like I guess without knowing what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of times, okay, like y'all remember Split, when they're like he has split personality disorder, and everyone who actually had where there was like DID or something, was like, that's in such bad portrayal of it. Like, that's not at all how it's like, and you shouldn't use real life illnesses or things that people have as like fun plot for your story. So like, I want to make sure I'm being respectful, and just considerate of that. So, but yeah, I just want to make sure that like I'm being respectful. So I'll leave this live up on YouTube. Everyone keeps asking, so yeah, for a while at least. I might take it down later, but I feel like Split's an okay movie if it was just like a made-up thing, but the fact that they tried to make it based off reality was very harmful, I think. But I mean, like with some things I feel more comfortable talking about, like obviously things like anxiety, depression, things like that I feel like I'm more equipped to talk about, and some other things too which I have like experience with or know people and I've talked to people about. But I really want to do more research before I like am like, this person has this, you know. HABROMANIA will have 12 episodes and then 5 different endings, so 4 main endings and then 1 secret ending. So in one of the endings, Alice gains Cordelia's outfit with the white stripes. What does that mean? Well, I sort of mentioned that stripes are like a visual motif for Wonderland, so I guess you can just take that as however you're going to take it. But yeah, I'm definitely very intentional with like the design choices, like eye colors changing or visual similarities. So like they usually do have some meaning. But yeah, which HABROMANIA character do I think is most likely to become a Tumblr sexy man? Hatter, definitely. Y'all saw what they did with the One Slur. Sometimes I'll see people comment, they're like, I need him on my like Instagram page, and I'm like, he's a cartoon character. But also like, I get it, like sure. But yeah, probably him. But people are into the weirdest things though. Y'all have seen like, again, Amazing Digital Circus. They're like the most insane. I've seen the most insane art for that, fan art for that show. Like brain rot, like they're made out of string. Like why are you drawing them sexy? Like it's a rag doll. Who knows? Oh, I could see it being death. No, Human Bill Cipher is like sick and twisted. You know the craziest thing I see some fandoms get into? Self-shipping? Like, that's the most unhinged form of like shipping I've seen ever. I don't know what happened to this stream where I'm talking about self-shipping, but so if you don't know, I wish I was you, but that's like when someone will be like, I think this person would be cute in a relationship with himself, and they'll draw the character like in a relationship with like an alternate universe version of them. It's insane. People are so funny online. But yeah. Once their cess was crazy. It's so crazy. People are into crazy stuff, guys. The internet is a scary place. Yeah, usually it'll be like a character and then like an edgy version of themselves. So like Morty and Evil Morty would be like an example. Now you know that. I'm sorry. I wish I hadn't told you guys because I have to live with that. But you know what? You only live once. Do whatever you want. If that's what you ship, you're not hurting anybody, I guess that's fine. Yes, Sans X Sans. Oh my god. Dude, all the variants of Sans were crazy. The Undertale AUs were crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. The craziest example I've seen personally. Definitely Sans X like Sans. Crazy. And like it'd be like the 2 AUs too. It's not even like the original. It would be like Nightmare AU X like Ink Whale like something. So weird, dude. And there were so many AUs, guys. I'm gonna be honest though. Y'all remember that like edgy one where they're all like red? Oh my god, middle school me was like, I love that stuff. Oh, I was so into it. I was like, yes, it's like them but like emo. Yeah, Underfell. Yes. like the slightly more edgy version of Undertale. Guys, oh my god, guys, my Pinterest at that time, my Tumblr at that time, you wouldn't understand. What did I look at to get inspiration for the outfits? Pinterest. I love my Pinterest. I've actually been trying to not be on Instagram as much, because obviously I post my art there, but I also doom scroll on there, and it's really been bad for me. Like, it sucks all the productivity out of me. I'll be like, oh, I'll just pop onto my Instagram to check my DM, and then I'm on it for 4 hours. So, I'm trying to use more Pinterest. Pinterest is, really helpful for me, because it's also really, like, inspiring. I like to post my art there, although I also see my art on there all the time not posted by me. Which, again, I don't mind as long as people are, you know, just saying that I'm the one who drew it. It just sucks when people are like, look at what I drew! And I'm like, fully I drew that girl, but let's pop off. You can follow my Pinterest boards. I'm just Symphony Sonata on there, too. I actually have like a HABROMANIA board where I have a bunch of different things that inspire my HABROMANIA. But yeah, I love Pinterest so much. I love fan art, yeah. It's so flattering to me. I'm like, it makes me so happy. Like, oh god, guys, you don't understand. If 10-year-old me knew people would make like fan art of like my drawings, oh my god. That's like, it's so surreal, and so I'm so grateful. I use Krita to animate. And just do all my art. I love it because it's free. Like, that's literally the main, only thing. If you write a HABROMANIA fanfic, will I read it? Yeah, I will. Send it to me. If it's crazy, please don't. Like, if it's like... Actually, do it anyway. I'll read it. That's so funny. Sometimes I think, like, you know, people, those, like, okay, do you think the creator of Undertale reads all the stuff? Like, do you think he knows? Like, he has to know, right? I mean, like, if I were him, I would know. But sometimes it's just like, wow. Like, you put things out in the world, and people just... Wow, you know. Dude, who wouldn't read fanfic of their characters? I feel like anyone who says that they don't is lying. Like, you think that the Supernatural creators aren't, like, looking at AO3 and being like... At the end of the okay, someone said on the Caterpillar's art card info thing, it says at the end you don't want to get the cat's attention. I low-key have no recollection of writing that, but it fits the plot. I did that a while ago. Let's see. I guess because the cat is, like, a cat, first of all, and so, like, the rats are terrified of him. But also because, like, the human characters haven't been around in Wonderland as long as, like, the animal characters. I think the animal characters are more, they know more about, like, the history and stuff of it, so, I guess you can take that as you will. Y'all seen those, shipping where it's like, oh my god, do you remember that era of Tumblr where it was like, here's Rapunzel and Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon and Jack Frost from The Guardians, and y'all remember that? I was never a part of that, but I was like on the peripheries of it. That's the funniest to me, when people ship characters from different fandoms completely, like, have never interacted, like, ooh, crossover episode, like, it's so Rise of the Frozen Tangled Dragons. Yes. It was so crazy. I love it. People are so creative. Like, I know I'm saying that jokingly, but, like, it does, like, make me, like, happy. I'm like, yes. Those, like, fan videos where it'll be like, oh my god. Can we pretend that airplanes? Y'all remember that one? Mordecai and Twilight Sparkle? People are so funny. I love them. Unironically, I saw one on my feed the other day, and I was like, I felt like I was transported back to, like, 2014. Scary. The editing was always, like, high quality, too. Like, I love it. People are so creative. I heard that they can't read much of the fan fiction because they have to be doing something remotely similar to an idea in a fanfic, then the author could sue them for legal stuff without crediting. Yeah, that kind of stuff gets really weird because it's like, well, you're using their like, the fanfic authors are using their IP as inspiration. So technically, I think Game Theory or something was like, well, actually low-key fan art and stuff is, like, illegal. I mean, like, no one ever pursues action against it. But really, strange. I don't know, yeah. I've seen some, like, crazy stuff out there. But, I don't know. Personally, I think fan art is great. I love it. As long as it's, like, normal. Like, if it's, like, I don't know, some people draw crazy things. Who is my biggest? Hear me out. Yikes. I don't know if I should answer that. The original Alice in Wonderland is a domain, but can I copyright my version for legal protection? Yeah. Um, yeah, people have asked me that. They're like, won't you get sued for Alice in Wonderland? No, because it's public domain. So if it's been, I think it's like 100 years, you can use the IP, which is why you have so many different adaptations from different studios. I can't use the Disney version, which is fine, because I was going to use that anyway. But, yeah, I can copyright it. Will there be voice acting in the game? We'll see, because some people have said that, you know, it'll mess up the, I guess, like, immersion of it, and I kind of like the vocal blips that are normal, but, I don't know, we'll see. I think it'd be fun to have, but I also like sort of the charm of just the vocal little blips, so we'll see. One more frame and then I'm coloring. What are each of the characters' biggest hear me out? Well, for Cordelia, it's Charlie. I think she's, like, embarrassed that she likes him. You put Charlie on your hear me out cake? That's hilarious. Have I heard of Nirvana? Like the band? Yeah. Cordelia's dad that I've drawn one time, you put him on your hear me out cake? I drew him once. He is kinda, yeah. That's so funny. I might have him in the DLC, we'll see. No, I've shown him in that blue animatic I made. He was walking her down the aisle. Ever After High? Oh, don't talk to me about Ever After High. I had so many of those dolls. Me and my little sister. Oh my god. The amount. Me and my cousin and my little sister. The plot lines we would have with those Ever After High dolls. Insane. I love Ever After High. I actually think that that's like. I was thinking about it recently and I was like, that's probably why I like character design so much. And like. I don't know, sort of like making my versions of these different like fairy tale characters. I've drawn like Little Red Riding Hood and stuff before, but it's like I love it. It's so for the girls and like cute and like I adore it. Like the Queen of Hearts from that was a big inspiration. I just love it. Oh, Lala Loopsy too, dude. I had a Lala Loopsy themed bed as a child. My sister and I collected them, like, religiously. We still have a bucket of them in our house. Yeah, Jinx and Vi are my favorite in Arcane. I feel like, though, I didn't like Jinx so much in the second season. I felt like some of her dialogue was a little cringy. Like, when she was like, your big fat hero, I was like, who wrote this, guys? This is a grown-up show. And I know she's supposed to be crazy, but it was a little, like, Marvel-y for me. But I love her in the first season. It's very tragic. But, I love a tragedy, so. Silco is on a... Silco deserves to be on a Hear Me Out kick. He's kind of bad. He is kind of bad. I'll say that. Low-key, all the characters in Arcane, though, are bad. Like, literally, like, name one, like, person who's, like, in the main cast who, like, isn't. Like, they did that on purpose. Yeah, I feel like Jinx, I mean, she was, like, a war criminal. And then she just became, in the second season, kind of, like, I don't know, a little goofy. I guess, like, more like her game counterpart. I don't play the game, but, yeah. Heimerdinger, I hate Heimerdinger. Hot take, I fucking hate Heimerdinger. Like, I'm sorry. He, every time his onion ass head was on the screen, I looked at my sister and I was like, turn this shit off. I don't know why he bothered me so much. Like, unreasonable. I got unreasonably mad. What's wrong with Heimerdinger? He's so annoying. He's like, he literally, oh my god. The way he walks, I like him actually getting like emotional. He pisses. I have never hated a character more. This is unironic. Like, I'm sorry, he's horrible. This is not a hot take. He's garbage. He's so annoying with his like built crazy. Literally just exists. Oh my god, his Spin the Wheel song. People were like, oh, Spin the Wheel is my favorite song in the second season. Dude, when I was listening to that song, I was like, I swear to god, if they pan, and it's that fucking onion guy singing this song, I'm gonna lose my shit. And it was. He's so annoying, and I'll just say, like, no spoilers, but like, I was not sad at all about what happened to him. I was like, and could have happened earlier. I don't know why I disliked him so much. I literally don't remember anything that he did in the story except for like, be like, Hextech is bad, which like it was. But I just remember being pissed off every time. I think it's because he reminded me of, like, a worse version of, like, Baby Yoda. Like, he reminded me of, like, Disney sidekicks who only exist for, like, marketing. Maybe I'm just, like, I have hate in my heart. I think that's probably what it is, because, like, I really did not like him. If you couldn't tell. Baby Yoda, because he's just, like, cute and then just, like, annoying. I'm sorry. Again, I think I just have, the more I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, you're getting, like, unreasonably mad about this, like, little creature in a cartoon. I just don't like him. I'm sorry, I don't like him. But at least Baby Yoda's cute. Heimerdinger is, like, ugly. I don't know. I just don't like him. I'm sorry. A hot take, guys. I'm sorry. I actually think Baby Yoda is cute. I mean, I think he's, like... I don't know. I don't know. He's just annoying. Heimerdinger? Dude, every time he would come with this little, like... Y'all know that, like... nerd glasses emoji. He was like, actually, that's like what he reminded me of. Every time I'm like, this fucking guy. Oh, just ass. He's like an Ewok. He's worse than an Ewok. Baby Yoda floated Waddle so Heimerdinger could sing. I hate it. I hate him here. I hate it. It's horrible. No, Baby Groot pissed me off too. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna talk about things I don't like anymore. I feel like I'm like showing a side of myself I don't like. Yes! The nerd emoji! I hated him! Sorry. I'll talk about something else. Is it terribly bad that I don't think Victor was wrong? I feel like I understood where he came from, but it happened too quickly. Like, I was so rooting for him for, like, all of Act 1 and Act 2, and then Act 3 happened, and I'm like, where did this come from? I thought he was all about world peace and, like, not hurting people, and I guess he's evil now. Like, whatever. Like, I don't know. I just felt like the season was a little rushed in that way, but yeah, but I feel like some of the characters in Arcane can be nerd emojis, but in like a cute way. The Heimerdinger's not. I'm sorry, I'll stop with the Heimerdinger hate. I said I would. Are we getting any more fight scenes aside from the final one? If we reach our stretch goal and can implement the card battle mechanic, yeah, there'll be a boss at the end of pretty much every chapter. And then minigame fight scenes as well, of like the cards, or talking flowers, or rats, or things like that. I'll stream more often if y'all want. Like, I like streaming. It helps me. I'm gonna be honest, I get really, really distracted. So far, 3 counselors I've seen have asked me, they're like, do you have ADHD? And I'm like, well, testing is really expensive, so I have no clue, but who knows? Anyway, whether I do or not, I know I have a hard time staying focused. I get distracted really easily, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'll turn some music on YouTube, and then I'll end up on like a 2-hour deep dive where I'm just like watching, like, here's like how like they make fermented shark meat in Iceland. So staying on these things helps because I have to just draw and talk, and I can't. Yeah, testing costs money where we live. Yes, America! It's like very expensive. It's like thousands of dollars. My dad is a veteran, and he went to the VA, and they asked him unprompted if he had ADHD, and my little sister too. And I know it's genetic, so we'll see. But no one's got it tested, so yes, love it. But on the other hand, it helps because I can sit down for like, well, if I can focus, I'll sit down and I can draw for like 8 hours without stopping. I mean, that's on like a good day though. On bad days, I like can't focus at all, but yeah. If you want, I can make a Discord for the HABROMANIA server. I was actually thinking about maybe making that like a stretch goal, and the Kickstarter, like, maybe like to a separate channel or something, where like I share like development things, but I could make a server too, because a couple people have asked that actually. Because I have one for development right now, but that's just for like the dev team, and that's a resend or progress and things like that, and a lot of spoilers, so. Yeah, maybe I'll make like a fan one. That could be really fun. I would need some like moderators though for it, because I've been so busy. I don't think I'll have time to like super make sure that everyone is being good in there. Yeah, I've done commissions for I've done commissions for a while. Mine aren't open right now because I'm so swamped with senior year of college and HABROMANIA and Kickstarter and shop stuff. So a lot. But I'd love to open up my commissions again sometime. It's a nice way for me to make a little money, because I don't make any money off of HABROMANIA. I mean, if I make like a little bit off of like my videos on YouTube, but it's like not enough. So. Oh, maybe. That's a good idea. Someone said if they make fan arts, I might showcase them at the end of my videos. That could be fun. I'd have to think about that more. I want to do another Draw This in Your Style. I did one on Instagram last year? 2 years ago? Of Cordelia, and that was really fun for me. Do I have a Ko-Fi? Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you to even, like, offer. I think I have, like, a defunct one from, like, years ago, but I guess I'll reopen it. That's really nice of you. I'm in a position, though, where I'm, not super... I'm really grateful that, like, obviously I have, like, a roof over my head and food on my table, so, like, I don't have to be, like, working, for my livelihood with this project right now. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to, like, eventually make something off of it, but it's like a passion project, right? I mean, I do it for free. So, like, the Kickstarter money is gonna all go towards, basically hiring people, and, yeah. And then I don't think I'd make any residuals, off of it until we actually sell the real game. But the Kickstarter money is gonna go into the development of it, and then I won't start really making money at all off of it until, we, like, start selling it on, Steam. And then I'll make a cut, because Steam takes a big cut, and then, our lead programmer gets a big cut, credit card fees get a cut, taxes get a cut, so just whatever is off of that. Will HABROMANIA be added to the PS4? Right now it's just